I should save this, but I have completely forgotten about this movie in the 2 days since I watched it.
Yeah, that
Right?
pretty much sums it up.
Right?
It's so, and it's not necessarily bad. It's just
No, it's just not very eventful. Or like,
extremely forgettable. I
yeah,
don't know how else to say it. Yeah.
I agree with that.
Even some of the action is fun and cool and interesting, and
I
they
did,
try
and
stuff.
we'll talk about that. I do
Yeah.
think that I do like that the action seemed kind of for action realistic. Like considering. I mean,
Mostly,
obviously
yeah.
there's some that are like kooky crazy,
It-
but they're
it-
also supposed to be like super.
Yeah, it's weird because
know.
they're definitely going for a Jason Bourne type thing,
Yeah.
but then they're like superheroes. So
But the fact that Will Smith's character actually gets hurt, I'm like, that's refreshing. Because most of
That's
the
a
time
change
it's
of
like,
pace.
I saw you get like punched in the face with a wheel, and then they're
Right.
just like fine afterwards.
Right,
And the
right.
fact that he's like, I'm sore, and
yeah,
that kind of thing.
but
Ken, did you make
Yeah,
the
anyway.
drink?
no, you know what? I wanted to. Somebody actually gave Nicole Banazuski gave us Prosecco on Friday for whatever weird reason.
Yeah, what? That's
And then I drank it all yesterday because it was like
delish.
I had to stir all the carbonation out of it before I could even drink it. But then I drank it
Well-
all. So no, I don't. Sorry.
And it's so funny because last night we
Oh, so
played. It was Gage's last game night before he moves away. We
Oh,
played
no.
Battlestar Galactica, and even though I went over there at 6:30 to learn the rules so we could start at 7, we didn't finish until like 12:30.
Holy cow. Ugh.
Phil was the only Cylon, and he lost.
I'll try not to cough the whole time.
But I had like several strong beers, but we went so late that had been such a long period of time between my last drink and when I went to bed that the only problem I had this morning was that I was tired because I was up so late.
That's pretty good, though. Nice.
Okay.
You guys want to do this?
Yeah.
Yes. I just
get
want to
the
make
show
sure my
on the
phone
road.
is
Right
on
into it.
mute.
I feel a little rusty, actually.
I know, right?
But let's get into it.
Do you want me to do the music for the audio podcast?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
This-
Yeah, Ken, why does your thing have such a hard time?
we
There.
go.
It wants you to be in an
It wants
interrogation
light.
room.
Yeah. I wonder if I point it at the wall behind. Hey, is that?
Right.
Oh,
That's
there
better.
is good.
There we
This
go.
is perfect. Look at
That's
this.
perfect.
I feel like you all should have dressed the same. Thank
That
you,
would have been
Joe.
really
Damn
good.
Why did
Oh,
we
that would have been
not?
so good
That's
in
really
blackface.
good.
Just kidding.
Oh,
Okay, now we have to end the recording and start over.
I'll
because
see
Come
you
on, that
guys.
was just a bad joke.
signing off.
Yeah, and that's it for tonight.
Yeah. No, what did we had a actually speaking of Halloween and all that, and somebody was one of my kids essentially asked me like, "Hey, but yeah, they're this character, but they didn't do the skin," and I'm like, "That's right, they did not do the skin."
Exactly.
And thankfully,
Yes.
they didn't do the skin.
And that coming from an absolute place of complete innocence, I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I understand what you're saying, but it's still a good costume without
Yes.
doing that.
Yes. Good observation, but don't ever do that.
Right.
Like,
Love your attention to detail, not an important detail. That's
Yeah.
how we need to.
Exactly.
I was trying to fix my light here, and I accidentally unscrewed it completely from its
What are you
holder.
doing?
And I
Just
created
hold it
a
like a
disaster.
mic. Hold it on your face like a
it's
Bob Barker
like-
mic.
I don't know what to do, to be
Mhm.
honest.
What
Well,
are
now
you
is not the
doing?
time.
That looks
fix it.
great. That looks great.
I will fix that later.
Oh my gosh.
Emily, I need you to hit
Okay,
it.
I'm trying not to cough the whole time.
Oh, my hair looks long. Come on.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Date Night D-List movie review. Tonight, we're going to be talking about Gemini Man.
Whoa! I was not expecting
It's
that.
like, what?
Excuse me, I believe it's pronounced Gemini Man. Sorry about this. This is a 2019 film starring Will Smith playing
You
Will
should
Smith
say-
and Will Smith playing the Fresh Prince of
Is it
Bel-Air.
2019? It
Oh, and
is.
yeah,
Right?
it is 2019. We'll get
Holy
into
moly.
that because it doesn't feel like it. But you need to start saying to people that your star sign is Gemini. Oh yeah, I'm a Gemini.
I'm a Gemini.
It makes sense that we wouldn't get along because I'm a Gemini.
Right. You would, you just wouldn't get it. You're just not a Gemini.
Oh my gosh, I almost.
It is very
Got
close to Genie Man. Yeah.
Get this,
Who
and
will
Over the
save
Hill.
you from yourself. Wow,
That's right.
okay.
An Over the Hill hitman faces off against a younger clone of himself. Way to ruin the movie,
I know.
IMDb.
Spoiler.
Spoiler alert.
It's not a
What the
spoiler.
heck? This was a $138 million movie that only grossed $173.5 million.
Wow, the way you said that.
And they lost $111 million. So they must have advertised it and lost some money.
Wow, I'm sure paying everyone and the whole
Really?
works after.
Huh.
Genie
Yeah,
Man.
so they lost
Gin
111
Man.
million.
That's
rough.
I can't believe that this is true, and maybe this is because we didn't watch it in 120 FPS, but Emily claims that this movie was filmed in 120 FPS.
What?
Normally movies are like 24.
Like
Why would
24,
they do
30,
well,
like between.
yeah, for reference, 24 is normal, 48
Yeah.
is soap opera and The Hobbit, which,
Yeah, which
both
is
look
like-
awful.
yeah, awkward.
Right. Well,
to
that's like
watch that
anytime you
way.
put on the upscale the frame rate on your TV, it makes everything look like a soap opera. Never turn that
It
setting on.
makes
Every
it
TV.
look like a play in front of you. Like
I
it's
like that. Yeah.
embarrassing.
I like that feature for Nintendo Switch.
Oh yeah.
really?
If you're
Oh yeah. Nintendo Switch puts out like 20 frames a second, and
Oh, I
on
guess
a-
that makes sense.
it'll give you 45. It looks way better. Anyway,
I completely agree with you there, but every TV comes with that feature enabled, and
Yep.
and the first thing you should do is turn it off. It
Yep.
looks so bad, and
Yep.
I whenever I go to somebody's house, it's always on, and I'm always
Hey, can
like,
I
And I
borrow
want to be
the
like,
remote?
do you want me
yeah,
to
I was like,
turn
can
that
I
off
please
for
turn
you?
this
can't-
off? And they're
I
like,
can't
I spent.
hear something. I can't. The
Yeah,
sound's
like, can you-
off.
in settings.
I like put the money I bought. I really splurged. I got the 240 hertz TV, and I'm like, nothing comes in 240 hertz.
It's
So
not a
all those
thing.
frames are made up. They're pretend frames, and it
They're-
looks like it.
It looks
so bad.
Yeah, it looks like a play that like someone's in an obvious costume in front of you, and
Turn
it's like,
that off.
Yeah.
I hate that. I hate
Yeah.
that. All right, Gemini Man.
oh wait, if anyone, we posted a drink called the Gemini.
Ooh, that's
If
right.
anyone's
yeah.
drinking along, anytime we say Will Smith, take a drink.
Oh my
Obviously,
gosh.
try not to kill yourself.
This movie stars Will Smith playing Will Smith and Will Smith playing Will Smith.
Well, shit. Here
Yeah.
we go.
Spoiler.
Before anything, I
And
feel
Will
like
Smith playing Will Smith.
That's true.
is it? Yeah, but is it Will Smith playing Will Smith playing Will Smith? We'll get to it. That's
Yeah, maybe.
spoilers. Do we think anybody should watch this movie before we spoil it?
No.
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 Now,
it's
the thing is,
almost. It's
It
almost
is almost
there.
good and almost interesting. If it was on, I would not say it's necessarily a bad movie. There's some we've watched that are bad. If you have to pay for it, I'd say find something else.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone, please ignore me for a moment. I broke my light, and I'm trying to fix it.
He's
The-
like screwing stuff in right now.
What I would say about this movie, and we'll get into it in the detail of why I feel this way, but for the first 2 acts of this movie, I was like, why is this
Bad.
considered bad? Why was
Yes.
this a bust? Like,
Yes.
this
Yeah.
is fantastic.
Yep.
I was really having a great
Yep.
time. I was
It's
like,
very
I
strong in the first
Yeah.
half.
yeah, I didn't
Yes.
take any notes. I was just watching it, and I was having fun. And the whole third act, you're like, it just, man, do they drop the ball?
But it's
Just
but it's
doesn't
not
really-
even, it doesn't. What's the blimp that blew up? Not the
In-
Heisenberg.
Hindenburg.
Hindenburg. it doesn't go full Hindenburg. It just kind
No,
of
but it's like, what?
fizzles out.
It fizzles
Yeah.
out, and you go, well,
That was a movie.
well,
It's a thing of like the next day. There's so many movies that the next day I'm still thinking about them, or I'm wondering this or that. This one, no,
Nope.
not
Nope.
there. Like it's just that was weird, and that's
And
it.
not every movie needs to be a brain teaser or something
No.
that you dwell on forever. But boy, this one goes in and out.
Yeah, just
It's
Dang.
straight through
And-
the system.
it's very flat.
it's so
just-
disappointing because I was having such a good time for most of it,
I like
Yeah.
the
and
first
then was
half.
so
You're right.
let
You're right.
down.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
was
Great.
so let down in the end because it just comes a generic, just like
Yes.
bleh. It
Which
just
is
like,
ironic because the first half, which I think is pretty good, could also be, you could say, well, this is generic Jason Bourne type
Yeah.
action. And I think that's a fair criticism.
Sure,
fine
but
with
it was
that.
But it's
enjoyable.
done well. It's
Yeah.
done
Good.
well,
Yeah.
right? If you do generic Jason Bourne for 2/3 and then you have a strong payoff, that's a good
I'm good.
movie.
Yeah.
You know,
I like Jason Bourne. Like
No problem.
You know, yeah.
but but this one it kind of it just falls short.
Yeah. And then when it ends, you're like,
Huh.
is that yes, exactly.
I know. I honestly, I was like, for most of the movie, or let's say a half to 2/3, I was like,
Waiting for it to get bad.
well, I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna say on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I'm
thought
having
we
a
were
great
gonna
time.
have to switch it. I was
And
like,
then
we
I
can't
was like,
do
oh,
this.
okay.
Yeah.
Here
Yeah.
we go.
And I
It gets a little wild later on.
When we talk ending, I think there's a better ending to this. If you just cut off sort of the prologue, there's a
Yeah.
distinct prologue period. And if you just got rid of that, I think it's a better movie. Because you just
Yeah,
don't
there's
need
a couple of ways you could really.
Anyway.
I don't know. Yeah.
it. Yeah. Let's get
All
into
right.
it.
Ben is
Oh,
going
oh.
to narrate for the most part.
I
He's
don't
going to take
understand
over.
why you put me in charge of this, but I will do my
Because
best.
This is gonna be bad.
Okay, so for the last podcast I
Yes, it
talked,
is.
I lost my voice for about a week from
Oh, that's
talking
right,
too much,
yeah.
and I was sick.
It was so
and I'm-
wonderful.
Shut up.
Sound
And
good
I
now.
was
Quit crying.
still-
Get to work.
I was still like, I'm still kind of like
Gotcha.
It's the
coughing,
best week
and
of my
I
life.
do not want to
No,
lose my
no,
voice
don't say
again.
that.
It was
Don't.
not because guess who got to sleep on this nice couch down here because I coughed so much.
She was like,
all
I'm
week."
coughing so much, you're going to have to leave. You know, and then when
That's
I'm
not
sick
what
and
I
coughing,
said.
I'm like, I'm coughing so much that I'm going to leave.
No,
Like, it doesn't matter who's coughing.
I've
I'm
slept
on
on
the
that couch. I like that couch. That's a good
it's
It's
not
comfy
bad
couch. Not
until
bad.
it's like
It's
day
really
5,
fun.
and you're probably
That's true. Yeah.
You know.
1 or 2 days is fine.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's not so bad.
But when it's like, well, I'm still sick, and I just like close the door to the bedroom, that's when.
One more thing before we get started on the movie recap. Emily, what do you think of the Gemini drink?
Ooh,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know what you were saying.
It is a shot of
Yeah.
gin, and then it is a little bit of simple syrup, a little bit of lemon juice, and then that's mixed with prosecco or
Prosecco.
Prosciutto. Like the beef.
You want to put the meat?
prosciutto, the meat.
You want to twirl
No,
it in there?
prosciutto.
Prosciutto. 2 or
Yeah.
3 ounces of Prosecco.
It's actually really good.
Is it?
I would highly
Okay.
recommend this.
Ken
It's very
drank all
good.
his prosecco, so he can't drink the Gemini tonight.
Sorry, I
Now
was playing Overwatch
hopefully I
and
don't get
needed
as
something
wasted
to
as the
calm
last
the
time.
nerves.
All right, here we
It's
go.
very good though. I highly recommend this drink if anyone.
Oh,
Picture
look at that. My
this.
headphones light up. I didn't know that.
A train station, high-speed train, very fast.
Yes,
in
I like
Belgium.
this. I like this intro. Okay.
This was cool. Yeah.
Yep.
Sneaky-looking people on the train. They're all
Ben's
chatting with
reading.
each other.
Wait, really quick. Ben's reading what I during the movie am just randomly typing while watching. So a lot
Okay.
of it might be me going, Will said what? And shit like that. So it might not
All
make
right.
sense if
No,
you just
this will be
read
good.
it.
I'm
But go
just
for it.
I'm reading somebody else's notes here.
Yeah.
Will Smith, Henry,
That's his
in
name.
the field with a sniper rifle, is talking to somebody on the train who's like his spotter on the train.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He's telling Henry they are moving, setting up his gun, talking to the guy on the train, ready to take the shot. Okay, then a little girl walks up over to
Well,
like
hold on.
where the guy.
I'm gonna stop you already.
Go
The
for it.
spotter is giving him train speed. He's giving him wind
Yeah.
direction. He's giving him very necessary information to create a very realistic
Yes.
shot scenario.
And Will has like
Right.
the wind gauge.
Right,
You know,
he's
like
doing the
he's like doing
same-
all the.
Dialing in the.
Boy,
it's
that's
very
like-
realistic. He's not
Man,
winging it.
I
It's
want to be
pro
a sniper. That sounds
It's
really
cool.
bad, but I
Yeah,
like. It
it's
seems
cool.
so cool
problem
to be
with-
like, I know what I'm doing.
The,
You're like,
well, the shot is the
You're
cool part, but the
just-
problem with being a sniper is you take the
Killing
shot
people?
and then you have to lay in that
Forever.
spot without moving
yeah, for like 48
days
hours
until
yeah.
they're not looking for you anymore, and then you can start leaving.
First of all, I pee every 15 minutes.
Right,
So we're gonna,
yeah.
Right away they go, you're out.
Disqualified for bathroom usage would be my dishonorably discharged for
Like-
excessive bathroom usage.
But there's like a little bit of a tense scene where the girl is delaying the shot, and then it's about to
Right.
go into a tunnel, and then he finally takes the shot, and then he's talking to the guy later, and he's like, "Oh, where'd I hit him?" And the guy says, "In the neck," and he's like, "Oh,
Right.
great," and they're all like celebrating or whatever. Then we go back to Henry's home in Georgia, and he's like living his like what I assume at that time is just like off the clock time.
Yes.
But his like contact in the government is the guy who breached the perimeter. They come to talk. I really liked this scene in that like there's a significant period of time in the movie from the celebration we got the shot, we killed the guy that we were supposed to this scene with the government guy where he's like, I'm retiring. He's like, oh, you killed him or whatever. He's like, I hit him in
Yeah.
the neck and I was aiming for his head.
Yeah.
And like
He says
you have a
something about-
good.
He says 6 inches, right? I could have killed the girl. I could have killed anybody else with
Yeah.
6 inches, basically.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm retiring. And what
Right,
I
like,
loved,
on his conscience to have the
Yeah.
to have like someone else, you know, he's like, I can't, and I think he mentions he's like, I can't look at myself in the mirror anymore. Like after,
Yeah, he says that.
you know,
literally.
like,
yeah.
yeah.
I don't look at myself.
I'm
yeah.
getting old.
Which becomes relevant later. And it's quite it's
Oh, I
good
forgot to
foreshadowing.
Oh,
It is. Avoids mirror. Yeah, so
I forgot to
there
show
he
him
is.
here. Yeah, here
it's
he
a
is.
super realistic setup. He's got the
Mhm.
mat, he's got rangefinder, everything. And I'm on board at this point. It's a good
And-
intro.
Yeah.
Right,
Right?
and I really liked I really liked the time between when they're celebrating that he got the shot to when he admits that he kind of missed the shot. Like he doesn't say that to his spotter.
No.
He says
Right.
it way later.
Right.
Like in his time, like I'm retiring. Like I didn't hit where I was aiming, even though
Yeah.
like it all worked out. He's like, I just got lucky, and
Yep.
it's like, whoa, okay.
yeah.
I didn't
Yep.
know any of that was going on. What a cool like trick you played on me.
Yeah, it was good. It's good.
I am not good at following Emily's
Oh my
notes here.
gosh. But he also says in there that he has 72 kills.
I
So
was
you know
gonna
he's
say
been
that,
doing
yeah.
this for a while.
Right.
72 kills down, and he's like, I'm done. I'm
Yep.
over it. Like,
Which also,
This is it.
not to talk like body counts for killers, but 72 seems like realistic to me for some reason.
Yeah, it was way
Yeah.
lower than I thought.
yeah,
that
he's
he
not
was.
like
if he's like a
400.
super killer,
Right. If it
something.
was, well, it's 1261, you'd be like, okay, all
like,
right,
what
we
are you
get
doing?
it.
Like,
Yeah.
right. So he's been doing this for what? 20 years, 25
Right.
years maybe. So
Yeah.
he does like
You're
3
doing-
a year.
Yeah, maybe 5 if schedule's packed. Got to kill 5 this year.
And then the next year he does 1.
He takes
right?
it
That
easy.
makes sense, though. Like,
I
that
just-
actually
it's
makes
a
sense
weird
for.
thing where it was like, okay, he's not a superhero. He is
Yeah,
a
they're not
trained
like, wow, it's a
professional.
record of 586
Right,
kills. Like,
right.
something insane. Yeah.
I do
Which-
wonder because you see him do this sort of like classy's the wrong word, but this sort of like you get hired for a job and you just execute it and there's no mess.
Well, he's
Sure.
good at it. But, like, he's saying, like,
But
he's
the
good at it,
was
but
he was he ever like on missions with with like the rest of the movie is like where he's like essentially like
I think at first.
in
probably.
trouble, you know, like in the mess.
I
Or
see.
were all of his
I
missions before
see.
this like clean? I don't know.
I don't know.
No, because later he talks about when he's younger, he's like stupid. And he's
Yeah.
like, you kind of mess up and you're stupid
Yeah.
when you're younger. And now that I'm older, like I'm smarter, which is kind of why I think you are also like, that's why he's retiring. He's smart. Hey, guess what?
Yes.
I don't want to do this
Like
stupid job anymore. It's, like,
I got really lucky on this one,
yeah,
and I'm gonna gracefully bow
that's
out.
it. Yeah,
Right? Yeah.
exactly.
Hey
Yeah.
Janelle, welcome to the show.
Hi.
I appreciate you giving us some. I feel like it's not that funny yet because actually it's good in the
It's an
beginning.
okay
Like
movie in the
don't.
Yeah, it
beginning.
is an
I
Yeah.
okay
like
movie.
I like for a long time here. I'm going to talk about how I liked what was going on. I found it to be quite interesting.
Yeah.
Because the next day he's like he's retired. All we know is he's retired. Whatever. He's like I'm going fishing today. He goes up to
He said
to
that?
buy some fuel for his boat, and the normal dude who works there is not there, and there's like an attractive
Excuse me?
young
I'm just
woman.
kidding. If
Well,
I was like,
I mean, we'll get into it, but just I don't care what her actual age is. Well, no, she's in college, so she's.
She says she's in
says
grad
call-
school.
Yeah, grad school.
Is that what
though.
it is? Okay.
Yes.
So she's
I
Is
know.
she though? Like
24?
I can't tell people's ages anymore.
I have no clue.
32? Like,
I just
don't
poured
know.
like half my drink on my shirt.
Oh, I thought you said down your throat. Dang.
No, it's like all over my shirt.
That's fine.
Just
You're
look at
fine.
this.
Take it off.
Yeah.
Dang
Yeah,
it.
so I don't know. He's immediately presented with an attractive college-age woman.
He's kind
who-
of doing the little flirty,
But they're
not,
flirting.
nothing crazy.
But it's like this is the first part where I was kind of like, please don't, please don't, please don't
oh, we knew. Though.
do
We know.
But they
24.
didn't.
They don't. They
No,
don't.
They didn't.
They respected it.
They don't
I
do
liked
it. Which,
that they
thank
respected
God,
it.
Right.
It is
Yet
not like, well,
another
I'm
thing I like
retiring
about
at
this movie.
55 and you're.
Right.
I do.
But yes.
I do like that sort of over the course of the
Mic
movie. He
cut out.
admits he's like, I don't know. I just wanted to protect you, but
Well,
it's
yeah.
never
Yeah.
like romantically.
No, and he says later,
Right.
younger me totally would have hit on you. And he's like, older me? No, but
I'm
it's,
too old.
But he's not saying because she's not attractive or this or that. He's
Yeah.
saying it because he's like, because I'm smart and I'm not a stupid douchbag, and so I'm not gonna hit on you. You know,
A
like
sleazeball.
there's yeah. So there are times like that where you're like, okay, I'm
Yeah.
okay with this.
All right. Here's the thing: is he going fishing? He's not going fishing.
I was confused here because this is a
gosh, yeah.
long period of like they have this weird quasi flirting thing, but later you find out it's because she's a DIA agent. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, but I
Sure.
never found out what that meant.
It's Department of
Right, Department of
They just changed
Intelligence or
CIA to DIA for
Okay.
Is that
whatever
what?
reason.
Okay.
But
But-
they have this prolonged boat sequence where like they're flirting, but they're not flirting, and I don't know. It was a weird.
It is
Hiccup.
It was weird, but it was sort of like,
I understand it now.
your face, Ben.
well, if
it's
you're
a podcast, people can't see your face.
if you're some like a grad student aged girl and Will Smith walks up to your boat
Wow.
booth and is like, "Hey, I need to buy some gas," and starts flirting with you, you wouldn't be like, "You gross, get out of here." You'd be like,
That's
"What's up, Will
true.
Smith?
yeah.
That's true.
What's
But-
going on?"
but
But you
this
wouldn't
is-
like it. Wouldn't go any further than that. But you certainly would like.
Sure.
Yeah, you'll do the little flirting.
Let's play the game.
But this is where you find out that he's allergic to bees.
Yes.
So a bee comes and he like loses his shit.
he
and
kills
right
it
away
with
you're like-
excellence. No, he takes off his
Yeah,
hat
he
and
like
destroys it right
he
away.
snipers it with his
Yeah,
hat, essentially. And you
It
know,
shows
he's like,
two
I hate
things:
bees,
his
so-
quick reflexes and his ability and his fear of bees.
Ability to be allergic to bees.
I
his ability.
I forgot during the train scene I tried to touch on my notes here. During the train scene in the beginning, the only thing I wrote was, why did they show the train going by with a fisheye lens? It was very odd.
There's a
was
lot.
weird.
That was the
There's
first
kooky-
time I
kooky
started.
camera angles.
I IMDb'd it. It's done by Ang Lee, who's the guy who did the Incredible Hulk, the bad one with
Not
Eric
the Edward
Bana.
Norton. Okay.
Yeah,
I
Edward.
haven't seen that one forever,
wait,
though.
Eric
Yeah,
Bana,
Eric Bana, not Edward Norton.
where it has all the
Edward
crazy. It
Bana.
has all the actual like comic panels in the movie
Okay.
and stuff. And
I've never
so-
seen that movie.
Really?
No, I have.
No.
I have.
The Ang Lee Hulk, I've never seen.
Don't waste your time. But
Yeah, it's not like
there's
I mean, it's
nothing.
fine, but
there's
it's
nothing
like-
there. But there's a couple scenes throughout this movie where there's weird, or I would call them interesting camera choices.
it's just weird because there's only a couple. So then you're
Right.
like,
It's
okay,
inconsistent.
I don't know if we. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like if someone was like, "This is cool," and they
Yeah.
just did it for a second, and you're like,
Yeah.
"Well, it is."
gives you
but
the impression this movie is not from 2019. It gives you the impression
Right.
it's from way older than that.
that was like
Very odd.
2015.
I was gonna say 11.
2014.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say 2011.
I thought it was
All right.
older.
But anyway, so now he's not going fishing. He meets up with a dude on a nice boat.
Super yacht.
If you remember back to when we were talking about yachts in previous podcasts, this is similar to the
Is
boats
this a
that I was
recurring topic? For
picturing
us?
in my mind. Remember I was talking about getting a yacht and traveling the world instead of living
I
somewhere?
was talking about
No,
that.
I think you had a dream that you talked to us about that.
It was a would you rather, and he was like, "Well, if I have
Oh,
to travel,
that
I'll
makes
take the
sense.
Look
yacht."
at this stain. Anyway,
Whatever.
so they shake hands because they both have the green spade
Sorry, everyone.
tattoos on their arms.
Does Will Smith have the green spade tattoo?
He
It
does.
showed
It
his
shows
during the sniper scene in the beginning.
Oh, see, I missed that
there's
because
something.
there's multiple people in the movie that have the green spade. Well, I think
Yes.
it's just black, but
You
it
see
turns
Will's
green.
in the beginning, and then every time that he meets another one of his like crew,
His
they
buddies.
also
the,
have
like,
it.
You can
Well,
see,
see-
the yeah.
having not noticed it on Will, every other one of these people have this tattoo that I'm
Oh,
like,
so you think they're like bad guys?
well, and I think they're
Well,
the movie is
right?
telegraphing bad guys very obtusely, right? Sort of like, well, you showed me the tattoo, spring
Yeah.
the trap, reveal the spade guys as bad guys.
But they
Right.
never
But,
really mention
okay.
it.
That
other
makes a lot
than-
more sense. All right.
Janelle, thank you for backing me up and remembering that I talked about
Yeah.
yachts. That was when I was watching a lot of
did.
YouTube
You did
videos
from
on
Would
like
You Rather.
walkthroughs of yachts.
I think we said, "Would you
Is that a
like
thing?
like
Yeah, I
travel
suppose
the
it is.
world?" Or and he
everything's
was
a
like,
thing,
"Well, I
if
would
you wanna
travel the
find
world
it.
in my yacht." And we're like,
Yeah.
"That's
I was
not an
watching a lot of
option."
like this new yacht
Let's
from
stay
this company.
focused.
Let's walk
stay
through it.
focused. Let's stay focused. Come on.
All right.
Okay, so he
anyway,
meets the guy
okay,
on
this
the
is
yacht.
important. He meets the guy on the yacht. He talks about that hit that he did, the sniper kill.
Yes.
Actually, the file was manipulated. I got a source over in
Russia?
like
I think
you- Ukraine or
Budapest?
something
I don't
like
know.
that.
Okay, I don't remember.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
some
Uh,
Eastern European country that's probably
Here's
not
his
real.
name. There's a flash in the sky. Turns out the DIA is spying on them the whole time. So now they know that he knows that
He killed
that-
someone else.
yeah, that he killed somebody he wasn't supposed to, and he has a contact to go talk to. So now,
Yeah.
guess what? They got to take him out.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
So the yacht scene is where Henry finds out too much information, and now the DIA's got to kill him.
Is
Yeah.
this
So
scene? Sorry, go ahead. Emma.
no, I was just gonna say they thought he said he's like no, he was a bioterrorist, and they're like no, he was like a biologist or
Right.
something like that.
like a Nobel Prize winning.
Yeah.
yeah.
And they're like no, he wasn't. That's all.
Huh.
But
So my question was, is this the scene that sets up the entire premise for why Will Smith has to die?
okay.
We had this. Emily and I had this conversation today.
I
we were
don't
walking the
quite
dogs, and she was like,
understand.
"Why were they
That's what
after
I
him?" And
said.
I was
I
Why
like,
they were
"Because
after
of the
him.
yacht
Get it.
scene."
Okay. That's fine.
He was totally fine until the yacht scene where the guy's like, "Yo, you were tricked. You need to go talk to this guy." And then they're like, "All right, I guess we got to kill him."
And that makes way more sense now knowing that Will Smith had the spade tattoo, right? Because if you
Yes.
view me not knowing he had the spade tattoo, the contact guy on the yacht he's approaching, I assume is a bad guy because it lingers on the tattoo.
Right? They the
for
way
like
they like
90
show
seconds.
it for
Right. If you don't know he has a tattoo, then
So
it's like stop
okay,
messing up.
all
yeah.
right, okay, that's fine. All right.
I today though was also like I don't quite
a minute.
understand
Why were
what
they trying to
happened.
kill him?
Yeah.
Can you-
exactly.
can you take over for a little bit? I'm falling apart here.
30 minutes in, almost
Okay.
exactly. He crumbles.
So this is when he looked up. He saw the airplane. Well, he
Yep.
saw something kind of shine in the
Did
sky.
he
drone.
see it or did we see it?
No, I
we
think
saw
he
it.
saw
Did
it.
He saw it.
He knew
saw it.
because
Yeah.
as
knew.
he's driving back, he's like fiddling around
Right.
and he pulls out like a I don't know, microphone,
a probe.
whatever.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a tracker.
I don't know.
It's like some wires.
So
somebody messed with his gauge, and he
Isn't
knows.
this
like,
movie
that
good so
seems
far?
Weird, though.
It's a good movie
It's
so
good,
far.
It's
Yeah.
a good movie so far.
So this one we find out that whatever you said, Ken, the Defense Intelligence
DIA.
Defense Agency,
It's
yeah, or
DIA.
whatever. They're listening to him, so they're tailing him. So this one we meet Clay and Janet, which I think you have a picture, Ben.
I
Playing
do. I
I
do.
really like.
So this is when you find out that they are like, he knows too much. We got to take him
You
out.
talking about Clay Veris?
Exactly. And Janet is like, I can do it. And the whole time he's like, you fuck up constantly. Like he's a jerk, like right away.
Well, and it's not
He's
obvious.
very
It
angry.
looks like he's her boss during that
Right.
scene, but later on you find out no, he's
No.
like
Not at all.
He's not even in the government at all. He's just like a dick.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a douche is all he is. But the whole time he's like, let me know when you fuck up and I'll finish it up. Like he the whole time is a total dirtbag.
He's very much like both the character and the actor are sort of like leaning into this being
Yeah.
a little over the top. But in contrast, I thought that lady is the best actor in this entire movie. Because
She
there's
does
some
seem realistic.
she's written super realistically where she's like, well, what are you talking about? I'm going to take care of this. This is a government contract.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you-
Like
like,
we'll take care
Who
of
Shut
do
you.
you
up,
think you
calm
are?
down.
We don't
yeah.
need you.
But then later she's in situations of where her life is in danger potentially, and she can barely hold on. Like
Yeah.
she's like holding the cell phone and her whole face is shaking. Maybe I was just in the zone. But
No, that's
she's
all in the
good.
good. We're still all that's in the good part of the movie.
Yeah.
And and really enjoyable. Like I'm still having a great time. At this point
Yep.
in time, we've got a long time before I start to fall off of this train.
Yeah.
So, Henry, I was gonna say, Will
Yeah.
drives his boat
That
back.
Will
This
Smith?
is when he pulled Will Smith.
Oh,
Everybody
all right.
drink.
Drink.
He pulls out the listening device, and then when he gets back to the docks, he like interrogates Danny, and he's like, "What the fuck is this?" And he's like yelling at her and all this stuff. She claims she doesn't know. She doesn't work for the DIA, and so as an apology, he's like, "Then we'll go on a date," which I feel
This
like was a
so weird.
weird flip.
It was so
This
weird.
He
might
went
be
from
the
being like,
weirdest part
"Fuck
of this
you,
movie.
no, you're totally lying," and then she's like, "I'm not," and he's like, "Okay, how about a date?"
It's weird
weird the way
until
it
the
is.
date. It's
And
but
then
it's
you
weird that
understand.
But
Yeah.
it's still
Sort of
weird
He's like,
the
okay,
way
then meet me
they-
for a drink. And then, like, as soon as they meet for a drink, he's like, so what's up? Like, you're obviously an agent.
Yeah, he like looked her
Right.
up, and he's like,
And then
"I
it's-
know you are."
It's so weird because that scene, the initial scene is like kind of
It's
weird
gross
and
and
gross.
creepy, yeah.
It's
and-
creepy because he's like
Until you find out that it's
assaulting her,
not.
essentially.
Right.
But
He
it's still-
comes in all hot. What is this? Who are you? Yada yada yada.
Yeah.
Let
What
me
was
take
the-
you. Hey, you know what? You're a lying bitch. Here's how we're gonna resolve this.
Hey.
I'm gonna take you on a date, you lying bitch.
Is it? Which
And it's
okay,
like-
I'm gonna say right now, if I was her,
That's an
whether he
exaggeration.
knows me or not, though, if I'm her, why would I go on a date with you?
No, I'm done.
You psycho! You just ran up to the dock and accused me, like threw shit in my
Also,
face, and like,
she has a gun on her. We
Yeah,
find out
done.
later. Like
like
gun time.
yeah.
Hey, what was the movie that we watched where they went down into, like, under like a city in a sewer, and then it
Oh,
started to flood.
That was the one with Tom Holland.
Sounds like Sonic 2.
Oh, Uncharted.
Uncharted.
Oh, never mind. I'm
That's
thinking
I
of
didn't
another
see
bad
that.
movie.
Yeah.
Well, that one's
But
that
the-
could
Oh
be a D
gosh,
list.
we should do that. Yes.
That could be a D list. That's
I feel like
worse
there's a
than this
lot
one.
of pairs of scenes in this movie where you get one bit and you're like, what? Or
Yeah.
huh? Or gross? And then you get context for it. And I feel
and you're
like
like,
it's
oh.
but that makes it a poorly written like thriller, sort of.
Yeah.
Because a well-written thriller, you're like you're chewing through the dialogue and that sort of thing. And
Oh no, this one's very
in this
light.
case, you're like, we're pretty sure this is a 21-year-old woman, and we know this guy is a killer. So
It
Right.
doesn't make any sense. And like Janelle said, there's no way a sane person goes on
Yeah.
that date. Yeah, you wouldn't show up
Look
for
at
the
these
date.
two going on a date.
but then
Yeah.
after the date makes total sense because they gave us nothing to imply
Okay,
she was an agent.
but let's say,
I know. I
mean,
was
and it
like,
is-
is she or isn't she?
Oh,
I'm not
really?
sure.
Maybe I'm
but it
dumb.
is a thing. You do find out
I
she
am,
is
but-
an agent. Why would you go on that date as an agent?
Why did the agent?
Wouldn't
choose
you
just
to
say-
do it?
No, and be done with it. You'd
Well,
be like,
because
this
the
is a
story is-
person I'm tailing. It's like my job.
Right. She's
Wouldn't
there
you say
to
no to the date?
to watch this guy. You'd say, no, get away from me, creep. You'd even call the police
Yeah.
to keep up the front, right?
Right?
I mean,
or,
me because
or
I
you
have
would tell
in
your
the field
agency and be like,
experience.
hey, he's being a little too crazy. You know?
I know
like
from my
standard
past
procedure.
experiences. No, but like, yeah, you call the cops, right?
You would call someone and be like, he's getting a little too whatever.
Handsy,
and
whatever.
like, and
and then he's gone.
step
'cause he's a
one, they would
killer.
go, don't go on the date. Like they would
Yeah.
like, instead she's there and she's like, hi, like it doesn't make any
This-
sense.
And all of this leads into this weird and again they solve it in the second half, but it's like, are they flirting? Is this
Yeah.
a love story?
It is weird, which so okay, so I do they say how old he is? Like in his
He's
does he
52.
say
They say
50? Oh,
explicitly
okay.
he's 52.
He's
And we're going to say
52.
she's 25.
Though at the same time, she's done so much this and that I'm like,
So
are
she's
you only
30.
25?
30?
Okay, still.
Hell,
a
I'll give you
age
35.
difference. Okay.
She's out of his league. Let me put it that way.
Yes, exactly.
She's out of his league.
But
And it's-
actually, I do like that he doesn't even try. He doesn't
d-
try because
right.
he has the
He-
wisdom to know, hey,
This
I'm
is-
20 years older.
Yeah,
than you,
this is
if
Will
that,
Smith's
like,
sort of
yes.
I know I'm old tour. I think he made a couple of movies like Pursuit of Happiness, which is a masterpiece,
Mhm.
right? But what was the other one where he was an actual superhero? Hancock,
Oh my god, that
where
one-
I've never seen it, but he was an older
be a
disgruntled
D-list.
superhero. Here he's an older disgruntled
yes,
service agent or
Exactly.
whatever. And so this is Will Smith's I'm old and I'm
Yeah.
okay with it. And it's
and
like,
it's
are
okay.
you?
That is,
Are you?
are you?
I don't
do you
think you
have?
are.
Me-
You,
we
He went all that
interrupt
way
this,
and he did not
show
take-
for a commercial for Hendrick's Gin.
He just
he
grabbed
did
gin
not
on
change
his, way
his
down.
shirt. Stand up and pour that drink with gin all over your shirt.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying not to cough, everyone. Oh my gosh.
I need some gin. I highly recommend. Is it called Blue Fin or
Did
Blue
you-
Whale?
What was the gin that you
And
had?
what was that garbage you had last week or last
That was the
podcast?
blue one. I think it was Blue Fin.
Is that the one you're recommending?
I don't
The
know
one
the name
you said
of it.
was horrible?
Oh no! That was Prairie. I remember that because
Oh,
I'll never buy it
It's
again.
like, are
I'll
you
never buy it
recommending
again.
it?
Yeah, I was like, are you trying to sell us on that garbage you hated?
He's like, I think it's
No.
called.
No, there's a much better one. Wow,
Wow, this is
intermission music. Where are we at in this movie? I'm sorry.
okay. So he essentially yells at her. They go on a date. You find out she does work for the
Of
Right.
course she does.
Does she
But-
work for the lady?
I think the lady.
I think so.
Okay,
She's in.
that makes sense.
And essentially, she's like, "You caught me. Yeah, we were tailing you."
Which
But they
is
still seem to have
standard-
like a good
that's
night.
Standard protocol.
Oops.
Like they're
Busted.
Muppets or something.
Yeah. Wah, wah. It's a little...
Then we see back on his friend's yacht.
That guy's
So-
dead, right?
So his friend and his girlfriend, even though he's
Mistress,
married
yeah.
with,
They went out of their way for that.
she's like,
Cool.
Jack, which I'm like, why do we even need to know that? I don't, whatever.
I guess
'cause
it
he-
was so it's to create suspense.
I don't
Let's
know.
call it.
But the girlfriend's like, you want to come check out the moon or whatever the heck she says. And then someone comes up, kills her, kills him. They both get thrown in the water. So you're
They're
like,
dead.
Yeah.
yeah, they're dead. Dunzo.
Boom.
And then we cut to Henry, aka Will Smith, everybody drink, is having a dream and that his dad is like way too fucking tough on him. So he's like 5 and his
Also,
dad's
his dad
like
is jacked.
his
but-
dad is like just fuck his dad's like just fucking swim and he like pushes
Well,
him underwater or whatever.
Yeah,
it is.
this was like I've heard stories of my dad threw me in the water, yada yada. I'm a boomer. I was born in 1960
that's different
to
than like
1968.
full on like shoving
Right.
your face
this
under.
is it's POV, the dad holding your shoulders, pushing you under the water.
And you're like, by the time you
Come
get up,
back
he's
up.
like, try again, bitch. Like that
Yeah.
kind of thing. And then his mom comes to save him. But this is when we find out, like, he's scared of the water. He hates water and
Yep.
swimming and all that. Which he does
Trying
talk
to
about
find a
later,
picture of the
but-
dad in that scene, and it's very hard to get a good Google search for that.
Gemini
Who
Man
was the
and-
hot dad?
The
in
hot dad.
Gemini Man.
Gemini
Alexa,
Man.
who was? Oh, she's not down here. Never mind. Good.
Yeah. Just talking to the
I
room.
moved it. Yeah. Yelled it into the corner.
The only thing I've been able to find
you
is
go.
this. Let me just share here. Gemini Man and sex. What you need to know. So
What?
this is about a Gemini.
Can we
and
stop?
Gemini.
What
Can
you
we
need to
stop?
know if
I'm
you're
gonna put
dating.
this.
doing?
Role-playing games are
Stop
critical.
Look at
Are
this
we-
weird.
Loves
like...
Dungeons and Dragons. Prefers.
Wait, are you a Gemini?
No.
Like are you actually?
No,
No.
he's not. So
That
this
sounds
doesn't
like
apply
something
to any of us.
a Gemini would say. No, I'm not. That's what I love about that. You can just say whatever you want. That sounds like
Classic Capricorn. Like,
right.
I
Surprise,
don't know
bitch!
what
I'm
the heck
married.
you
I-
are, Ben.
After drinking the Gemini drink and now drinking just essentially gin, boy, I wish I had more
No more
of the
Gemini.
Anything?
Oh,
Is there
man.
more of that?
No, everything's gone.
Sorry. Well,
Dang.
like, there's other stuff upstairs. Like, you're acting like we're in some sort of
We're never gonna make it
vault.
through this
We're-
movie.
Yeah,
Keep
Okay.
going.
we are burning time.
Okay, the alarm goes off for
We're
him
only
again.
at him getting attacked in his house.
We
In the
gotta
middle-
move. We gotta
middle
move.
of the
Yeah.
night.
You gotta pick it up.
Okay, when the alarm goes off, so it's like perimeter breached. He quickly, like, essentially rolls out of bed, opens up the floor, bops down there. He's got
that
a
was
bag
cool.
of guns
That
set
was
up. He's
cool.
ready to go.
Oh, he's
got
ready.
a
He's
cell
not like
phone.
Jack. He's not
He's
gonna get tricked.
underneath the
He's ready to
house
go.
in like 3 seconds. Yeah,
And
it's cool.
yeah, and he calls his friend, who was the guy from the train, who like told him, "Hey, we're on
His
the
spotter.
train." Blah blah
Yep.
blah. Yeah, and right away he's like, "You need to get out. You need to leave. All this stuff." And then he instantly hears that guy get shot, and he's
Which
dead.
I thought that was cool too. You hear the dude get
Yeah,
shot
he's like,
and
"Doo, doo,"
fall,
like
and
you hear him
the phone
fall, and you're like, "Oh
And-
shit!"
and you're just watching Will Smith,
yeah,
on the
it's like
phone.
in his little bunker.
and it's like, oh shit.
Um,
That was
I
cool.
I liked how, so that is like from his point of view, you know, like
Right.
he's like, oh shit, that guy got shot, but you don't see it. And
No, you don't
but
see it.
then Will Smith is being attacked, drank Will Smith.
drink was
Don't say it again or
We're
again.
gonna die.
And but the whole scene at his house is actually shown from the perspective of the people. You don't ever
Like,
see
sneaking
Attacking
him.
in.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
so you
So
see people
good.
go down.
Right?
That
You've
is
got-
when you're like, you're a good sniper because
There's
he's
dudes-
crawling around. He's doo,
Yeah.
doo, doo, and
He takes out the
quickly
guys
takes
who
them
are
out
close, and
and
then it
crawls.
shows the
see
sniper
the
looking
flash.
for him,
Yeah.
And that guy, boom, gets taken out. And you're
Yeah.
like, whoa, badass.
Yeah, because he's the best of the best, bitch.
And it like it's shot well because it's sort of at dusk or early morning or something, right?
Yeah.
So these guys are closing in, and you're like you said, it's their point of view, and it's just you see the flash
But it's
of
like
light,
silence.
and then they die, right?
Like,
you don't hear the
yes.
gun.
Yep.
It was really cool because
Which
it
is
was
Like
really
a
good.
rock.
surgeon.
Yeah. Anyway.
So he's crawling out and stuff. He goes to Danny's house, and he's like, they're coming to kill you, blah, blah, blah. You know too much, too. Like, come with me if you want. If you
To
don't trust
live.
me, like, get
This
shot
felt
kind
weird
of thing.
because it felt like he was endangering her, but I think we'll get to that sort of.
Yeah, which, I mean, I
Right.
guess they would have got her because they got his old partner. But it did seem
But
like he
why
was
would
like,
if
you.
he hadn't gone
and
there, why would they have taken her out?
because
She
I
didn't
guess
know
she knew
anything.
who she was, or who he was. I guess. I don't
but
know.
Wait,
I
are
also don't
these-
see why you would.
So does she get taken out because they killed him the same day?
Well,
and there was supposed
okay.
to be like a fake sort of like he's a hero and died in action sort of thing?
Maybe she
Oh.
would have said, hey, he was fine the day before or something like that. But this is when someone comes in. So someone comes in behind her with the gun. This is when I really enjoyed this scene because it's a fight scene. So she talks about on their date how she was, I don't even know, in the Navy, in the Marines, or whatever.
She was in the
she
Navy,
says.
but she didn't like being on ships.
But she essentially talks about how she's like been through the ringer when it comes
Sure.
to like all this shit.
Yeah.
And so she's fighting with this guy, but it's legit fighting. So it's
It's
not
great.
superhero fighting.
Yeah.
It is legit if you found
it's
someone who has been in the
It's like
Navy,
wrestling,
Marines, whatever.
right?
Yeah, and they are fighting in a small house unit because they're going to get the boat to leave. So they're
So
in the
good.
area where she got the keys. And they're fighting where it's like, yeah, you're smashing through windows, but it's realistic enough where
And I did like,
Well, like,
it was
you
very
know, like,
realistic, even
they're
in the
getting
fact that
hurt.
like
They're like,
she's a small woman
Yeah.
and he's a bigger dude, and there's things where like
where you're like,
Like,
she might be done.
she tries to get him
Like,
in
Yeah.
a hold, and he's
Yeah.
like, nope. And, he's just like, he's
Right.
just
Yes.
bigger than her. He just
Right.
throws
Yes.
her off of
For
him.
Yeah.
once, it's not like, I'm Black Widow, bitch. And
Well,
it's
she,
just like,
I think she
yeah.
gets him in the Black Widow, and he's like, "Well, I'm gonna move your leg."
He's like twice the size of her. He just is like, nope.
Exactly, which I like that for once, because most of the time
It's
you're like,
cool.
wow, you didn't get hurt and you somehow fought this
Right,
guy, and it
like,
doesn't make any sense.
They get
like,
slammed into windows, and they go,
and they're like
right?
bleeding and like
and it's like, yeah, there's
they're
glass
in
in your
pain.
back.
Yes, exactly. But she does get him where she like locks him in and she's like, you're gonna tell me info.
She gets something around his neck, which again is another like
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
know.
Right. He
You're-
had her, but then she somehow gets him.
But she gets
she
him.
does a little flipperoo, but like okay,
Um,
she's 140 pounds, he's 240 pounds.
Yeah,
you probably
right?
you're not gonna
If that,
strangle
yeah.
him with your palms.
Yeah, no,
Never,
it's like
right.
she
Right?
legit
Yeah,
uses.
it was really cool.
I enjoyed that. So she essentially wins that though, and then I don't know. Does she
Rips
find
his
out
teeth
info
out?
from that? She does.
Yeah, she
rip
pulls his teeth out.
She pulls his teeth out, but what
How?
does she find out?
I don't know.
She's
What
like, you're
is
gonna
it?
tell me what's going on here, or you're gonna lose your teeth or something
Well,
like
because
that.
he says the same thing
Yes.
to her, and then she
Yes.
flips it, kicks his ass, and goes, "You're going to tell me what's going on here, or you're going to lose your teeth." And
And
she
he does.
I don't remember what he tells her, but I know she takes several teeth out of his head.
She like gives him to Will, and she's like, "Guess
yeah,
what?"
he's
Oh,
like,
not Henry.
"What'd you
Oh,
learn?" And
God,
she
sorry.
throws teeth at him. Handful of teeth.
Wait,
What a-
Ben, you're just off the clock now.
No, I can get back on the clock. Where are we at?
My
The
voice
hit
is
that
like,
Janet set up didn't work. Clay
Yeah.
says Henry was young and stupid at first. As they get older, they get smarter, so he'll handle Henry now. And this is where you're like, because we've all seen the movie poster and read the IMDb description, you're like, young and dumb. I bet it's the clone.
Right.
but
Well, to their
but
credit,
this is when Clay says he'll take over. He's like, "You didn't fucking do it with your
Yeah.
sniper team.
to their
I'm
credit,
doing it."
the clone reveal is not a reveal, right?
Yeah.
It's not like a oh my gosh moment. It's
Wouldn't it
just
have been so good though if you were like, "What the fuck?" Like,
that would have been cool.
but
I mean-
instead it's kind of like
It
you
is.
know,
It is definitely when he. We're skipping ahead a little bit here, but when he gets he like is getting the Henry's getting chased by somebody. He finally gets a shot on him. Like,
this is another cool action
old
scene.
man Henry would have won. He won.
Oh.
He defeated his
He could have
pursuer.
shot him in a second.
And
Yep.
then he's like, oh.
Yeah.
And you're like, I hope that
Yep.
doesn't go back to bite you. And you know what? It doesn't, because he gets to beat him again several
Okay.
That's
times.
his son.
Um,
Anyway, so yeah, where are we at? She interrogated this guy. They get some sort of piece of information that takes them to.
They run away though to like.
oh,
an
they run
island.
away on a speedy boat.
They go
They're
to
on a
Wong.
deserted island.
And
This is when the Baron
Sorcerer
picks him up.
Supreme Wong.
Exactly.
Sorcerer
From-
Supreme, yeah.
He also has a spade tattoo.
The Baron.
Is that his name, the Baron? Okay.
The Baron. He's like,
Not,
this is my
I don't know if
friend,
he's the Baron. I think he's just Baron.
No, he's the Baron.
No, I'm
but
pretty sure he's Baron.
He's the Baron.
Here they are, the gang.
Here they are. Yeah, look
And
at them.
see, this is what's so weird because this is 2019. This movie came out. It feels so 2011 in terms of like we're trying to make an action movie, we're
It is
trying to
weird.
make a superhero movie. Wong's in a superhero movie. Will Smith is always bankable. This girl seems great. Like, but it's 8 years after that.
Yeah,
yes, this
something
is
about
and
it is
this
weird.
is Marvel canon, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
I think
like
he's
that's
Wong.
actually it's actually Wong.
I think so. It's
he didn't
Wongers.
die. He just had other things to do.
Right? I would not be surprised if they were like, psych, bitches. Like, and
Sure,
he
JK. Why
knew
not?
about it. He, like, yeah, went into, yeah, exactly.
She was in one of them. She was in
Was she?
one of the Harley
don't
Quinn
know.
movies. She's
Oh.
Huntress.
Hey, here we go.
I've never
This is a
seen
Marvel
any of
movie.
those.
I didn't.
Word to play.
Yeah, I
agree.
watched half of it. I'm gonna be right back.
So they're on the plane. Where do they go?
They go to the Baron's house. They're gonna go stay
Which
with
is
him.
in Cambodia or something like that. Where do
Sure.
they go? I'm
I
not
don't
sure where they
know.
go. I love they fly away to somewhere that's like sort of Middle Eastern, I believe.
Yeah, I don't
And
know. I'm sorry.
the next thing we see is Will Smith's trying to sleep, and he's so sweaty.
That's what I mean. I do enjoy that in this movie, they were like, you obviously fought, you were trying to get away from someone, and you were hurt, and you're sweaty, and you're tired. Where most movies are like pristine, showered, and they're like, boy, that was annoying. And you're like, well,
I
feel
know
like
it's
I
right
just-
after that brutal fight scene that was very realistic. We see them in a like hot, humid environment, and they're like crazy
God.
sweaty.
Oh, wait. So this is when Henry calls his old boss. He says, the boss says he has nothing to do with it. And they talk about Gemini a little bit.
But
And-
he knew about it. He had nothing to do with it, but he
But
knows
he knew.
about it.
And the boss is like, hold on, talking about Gemini and all this stuff. Which right away, that's when Will is like, what the fuck is Gemini? What are you talking about? What's going on with all this shit?
Yeah, like what's going
So
on?
this is when we find out Gemini is Clay, the one bad guy. It's like a private military owned company, I guess, or whatever. So he like takes out targets, he does kidnappings, murders, trains soldiers, like the whole works. It's like a private thing.
Everything the U.S. government wants to do off the clock.
Yeah.
It's just like Juan Cabrillo and the Oregon, except shady.
But
Like all
Clay-
what I want is I want Gemini to
Clive
be
Cussler.
Clive Cussler's
it's not gonna
Oregon,
happen.
Juan Cabrillo, and he's the chairman of.
I'm sorry.
He's the
what did
chairman
I-
of.
Talking about this is like a Hallmark
Haven't
movie
you
all of a
guys
sudden?
ever read
Of
any
Christmas.
Oregon Files?
No.
Yeah, I know
Get
like
with
the
the
back of my
program.
hand. You sound
So-
like an idiot.
Clay, though, in the past worked with Henry. And Henry talks about how, oh no, my voice is going, how he, like, tied weights to Henry's legs during training, essentially drowned him, like, completely.
Oh, he
To be
dies.
like, yeah, he
Yeah.
dies. They, like, resuscitated him.
he said he had
or
to be
revived him or whatever.
defibrillated.
And then Clay was like, good job, you passed the test, bitch. Like,
Nice
that kind
work.
of thing.
That killed you.
So he's a total douchebag, is what we find out.
Yeah.
Well, but also, like, I don't think you would go into fibrillation if you drowned. I don't think that's what causes that. So I was kind of like,
I
But
don't know.
that's
I don't know.
such a
I'm
minor
not
little
gonna
thing.
like say.
I
No
only
to
say
Right.
that because I've been trained on a defibrillator, and it's like
What
when
is
you're
it for then?
a defibrillator is when your heart. It's not when your heart stops. It's when your heart is like not beating because the signal is like
It's not
pulse-
the
Interrupted or
stopping?
something.
it's
basically.
like a constant signal. And actually, if
Ah.
you know when you're like
But
somewhere
when
like
you
at
try that either way,
you can try it because at the soccer field, those like defibrillators or like if you're somewhere where you see them, you can pull them off the shelf and like put them on somebody. Those actually can measure whether somebody's in fibrillation or not, and they will
wow.
not fire if they're not.
if you're
That
not,
is
so you can't like hurt
incredible.
them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
but that's what I
So
mean.
if
like,
you're
you
ever
would
like, I don't know,
check.
should I use this? Just grab
Go
that
for it.
and try it because it won't go if they're not.
You know what? If you're having a
Wow.
bad day, just fucking go for
Just
it.
do it.
Yeah.
You
Just try it.
put one here.
God,
and one
I would
here.
not know.
That's all you
Huh.
got to know.
I'm
Here and here.
Why is that
That
not
left
like
side?
standard? You learn
It's left
Right.
side, yeah.
Put that.
On the here
Put
and
that
so
in
that
there.
people aren't fucking that shit up when it's like
One of the
time
many
comes.
high school classes, including mortgages, loans,
God.
student. Like, let's not get
like
started
money,
on.
Every day's like you could have.
everyday
You could be.
things.
You could
everyday
just.
things, guys.
Today we're gonna learn about defibrillators. Tomorrow we're gonna learn about CPR. Like it just takes a day to learn that
everyday
stuff.
Yeah.
things. Why is this not? This should be all of high school. Like, who cares about the other flipping stuff? Okay.
Oh, I forgot
I'm
that was
sorry.
pure gin. All right, let's keep going.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, whiskey
we
is
gotta
better than
move,
gin. I
guys.
don't know what
We're
happened to
going-
me.
Really? Oh,
Okay.
I think so.
So
Yes.
they're
So-
in Colombia.
back,
The Baron is
Satan.
in Colombia.
yes. All right.
Okay, Henry
Oh, yeah.
wakes up.
They're
and he
sweating
is
in Colombia.
So goddamn
God.
So
sweaty.
sweaty.
I was uncomfortable.
I would be too. I can't.
I was so. He woke up with that like.
Yeah.
All over his face.
Do.
And that was.
Right.
And it was him taking a nap.
We're never gonna get to the
Oh
end
my
of this
god!
movie.
I'm sorry. Right away, I go. I hate this. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I can't. I can't take
We gotta move though. All right. He's
it.
hot.
Okay. He sees someone outside the window, and he's like, "There's a fucking
Yeah,
sniper
he sees
on the
like,
roof."
and it's like a, it's
It's
like
a-
a flash.
It's a tenth of a second.
Yeah.
It is.
That's it.
You
Just a
might have
little-
missed it as a
yeah.
movie watcher, but he didn't. He didn't
would
miss it.
be-
No,
But you,
he does.
you might have missed
But I
it.
like that. Again, we're still in
yeah,
Jason Bourne
we're still good.
territory.
Yeah,
we're
he's
still
badass
good.
still.
So he tells like the Baron. He tells Danny. He's like, "I'm gonna follow,
Yep.
or I'm gonna either like have them follow
Get
me,
this
or
guy outta
whatever the
here."
scenario. You guys, So he goes off. The only thing I hate is he has the weirdest duffel bag I've ever seen with guns in it, and he's like running around with a. It looks like an old lady's duffel bag.
Well, he switches. He
Which?
has the duffel bag. He goes downstairs. He grabs like a lady's oversized purse.
Is that what it like?
I don't know
that's
why.
Why?
As if
And he's
anybody
like running around with
cares.
it, which is weird though.
Because he has a duffel bag of loose guns.
Yeah,
Like-
it's loose guns.
I don't remember this at
He
all.
essentially runs
No.
around the town though. He's trying to not get in the
He
other
takes
guy's
a-
sight,
yeah.
but he's trying to get in his sight. And this is when what you said, Ben. He's looking through the. Is it the sight? What is it called? The
He's
scope?
got the
Whatever you
shot
call
on the
it.
guy.
He's
He
got the
knows where
shot,
he's coming.
but
He's
it's fucking
uncovered.
He's
Lil
watching
Will.
got it
the
lined up,
This
Lil
when Lil
Will.
Will shows up,
and
he's
he
in
looks
his
through
sight,
the
and he goes,
sight.
"What the
And what
fuck?"
does he
Like,
see?
It's
He sees the Fresh Prince of Bel
I don't
Air.
know. I don't know what is so weird about this.
120
hat.
FPS.
What is so weird about this hat choice and sunglasses?
The thing
Everything-
is like it
everything is
doesn't
weird.
look exactly like young Will Smith.
No, I disagree. I think they nailed it. Is it?
it doesn't look like
No?
stuff. No.
Is
Like, have
it-
you Fresh Prince it's
I'm
different.
glad you said
now,
that.
I'm saying it could totally be him if you didn't see him when he was younger.
Oh,
And I don't think
I
that's what it
gotcha.
is though. I think that it's
what bothers me about this
always-
look
I don't
is
know.
that he looks like the Fresh Prince as an assassin. That's what bothers me,
maybe that is it. Maybe I'm like he wouldn't do that.
right?
Young Will wouldn't
This
do that.
looks like 1996 Will Smith. Like you
But-
ripped him out of time.
But young Will, Ben, are you finding a photo?
Oh,
I
yeah,
can
of
tell
course
that
I
you're
am.
finding a photo.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, I think this is the best face swapping and
Now, the
de-aging
face
Oh,
swap,
I
I
can get on board with
ever
that.
seen.
Like it looked just like this.
yeah.
with the
Yeah.
gun, he just
This-
is holding like a.
Honest to God, Star Wars seems to love this technology and this concept. It is
Sorry.
rash compared
This
to
did it
movie.
better than Star
Yes.
Wars
This
for
movie
sure.
did it insanely well.
Look
My
at him.
problem is that I think it looks like 1996 Will Smith.
I think it wasn't quite right. Something
It's
about
like
it
They
is very
cloned the Fresh
Gumby-ish.
Prince instead of. Oh, we'll get to the Gumby.
I think the only thing I didn't like about it is the hat.
That's what I'm saying. It's the
also-
choice of hat and glasses.
A backwards hat,
sorry, I
like
have a
in the
coffee cup if it's
glasses.
on.
I
That's not
hate
what
this.
like a trained professional wears.
He's just being cash, guys. It's just being.
Anyway,
cash.
we gotta move. We gotta move.
Um,
Here's a huge
okay.
motorcycle sequence.
So this is when shit gets
Huge.
fucking crazy. So they're trying to chase each other. He should have killed Lil Will when he had a chance, first of all.
Yes.
But
I think
He
Lil
falls off
Will
a
even
ladder.
has a chance to shoot, but he doesn't.
Oh,
right?
Well,
Yeah.
during this part of the movie, I really do think he should have killed Lil Will.
we could have been done.
But
Yeah.
Dunzo.
Movie
done.
over.
It does
Roll
sort
credits.
of pay off in the second
Yeah.
act that you're like, oh, I'm glad he's still around. Like,
Yes.
He's okay.
like it's fine.
I don't know
But
if I'm like,
the whole
he's
in this
great,
first
but-
part, I was like, just shoot him
Yeah.
and be done
Yeah.
with it. Like,
That's
let's
what-
not deal with this.
Okay, so he falls off a ladder. He kind of gets hurt. Once again, I like that he gets hurt. He's not like a fucking super soldier. He
Talking about
is like
Henry.
a normal person. Yes.
But
Yeah.
the thing is, they're both super soldiers,
The best
but
of
in
the
a
best.
realistic way. The
And
best
yeah.
of the best, but it's still a little messy.
Right.
It's not
Yeah.
like you're not a superhero. You're like
it's messy, but you're
barely
good.
Good. but
making
guess what?
things happen.
If you fall 2 stories onto a metal rail,
It
you're
hurt.
not getting up for a couple
Yes,
Exactly.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's
so
messy.
Henry
Yeah.
steals a motorbike. So does Lil Will. They're driving around town, and they're like trying to shoot, trying to drive, trying to do the whole works. They essentially get to the end where Henry gets off the motorbike. Hold on.
Sorry.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is my
Spoiler.
favorite part though. So Henry's down. Lil Will comes at him and like he slaps him in the face with the tire
Hold
of
on.
the motorbike.
Hold
I
on.
barely
I
gotta-
feel like that would rip your
Hold
fucking
on,
face
hold
off.
on, hold on, hold on.
Okay,
hold on.
okay.
Oh, wait,
All
go
right.
for
Because
This
this
is the
is
second
a-
motorbike. Keep that in mind.
this is a very long motorcycle sequence.
It's a good like 5-10 minutes.
6, 7, 8 minutes.
Yeah,
I
it's
would
pretty
say.
long.
And
Yeah.
it's very well done. There's a lot
It
of
is.
there's a portion in the beginning where they are sort of discreetly shooting at each other.
Yeah, by
where,
the
like,
end it's like fuck
You know,
this shit.
it's under the arm because I need to get away, and then it sort of slowly rolls into this. It's getting worse and worse. It's more careless. Suddenly we're on the rooftops. But
Yeah, it's
then
crazy.
it gets to this scene where one man assaults another man with a motorcycle.
Very odd.
Like as if the
It's-
motorbike was part
moves.
of you. It is weird.
He's wielding it like a weapon.
Right. He's attacking him with the bike.
Okay.
And it's prolonged. Lil Will
He keeps going.
At
Like
him.
nobody's helping
Several
Big Will.
attacks.
No,
for
yeah.
2, 3, he hits him. He uses the handlebars to slap
To-
Will Smith with the tire.
Like the back of the tire. Can you imagine?
But
Let's all imagine
this
though.
dodge
Hold
here
on.
was crucial. This
But
was
hold
critical to the
This was
success.
over
Imagine
the
you are
top.
standing there
Over the
and someone
top.
turns the bike
Let's
and the
see if
wheel...
we can do a. I want to see if I can do a push up
Yeah,
this
but-
high.
Okay, but can you imagine standing and the wheel
30
slaps
inches
you
off
in
the
the
ground.
face?
Right. He brakes
Okay,
hard and
So he
slaps
breaks
him
and
with the
turns, slaps
back.
him in the face. He is like
You'd
stomach to
be
the ground.
Concussed, first of all.
So stomach to
Right.
the ground, and this is when he comes back, and that's when he leapfrogs. He all fours up at the same time.
He's like,
He's he all fours up, and he leapfrogs over the motorbike, which is like fuck you, Lowell.
I did write.
And
I
but
have.
he assaults him more and whatnot.
I have
and
two comments in this scene.
Mm-hmm.
One, I wrote down murder with bike.
yeah, I wrote down trying to kill
He
him
kept coming
with a
at with the
motorcycle.
wheel. You know, like
And then I wrote down for older Will Smith, why does he have no sideburns? Why is it his
I've
haircut
never
is
noticed.
here?
That's a weird thing.
It's
Yeah,
a
I don't
weird
know.
cut.
Really?
I'm not on board
guess
with
I
that.
haven't
I
noticed.
don't like that.
He's not the only
Do
guy to
we-
sport it either. Sideburns are apparently fair
Is
game
that
in
out?
terms of length.
Yeah,
I don't know.
The last time I got my hair cut, she was like, "Do you want sideburns or not?" And I was like, "The hell are you
Not.
talking
Isn't
about?
there only one?
Like, why wouldn't
way
I
to
have
do
any?"
it?
And she was
I
like,
like
right in the
"Some
middle.
people don't want them," and I was like, "That's
Ken's
dumb."
face for that was like,
And that was the last I heard of it until this movie, and I saw Will Smith with no sideburns, and I was
One
like,
time I got my
that's
hair
weird
cut
looking, right?
like this, and the woman said, "Do
Okay.
you want to keep your bangs?" And I think I
What's that mean?
"What would she have done?
Like,
what?
Would she have like?
would she have buzzed it? Like, I don't understand.
Then wouldn't you
Girl.
just have bangs that are further back?"
Well, girl, bangs are when your hair forms a horizontal line.
Could you
across
imagine
your
if you had an
forehead.
undercut of your bangs?
bangs
like-
are
Like, imagine you have long
What's there to
I can't.
hair.
undercut? I'm
bangs are
I've got
Undercut
a
is
lot of
undercut is
real
the like
estate.
the mushroom cut where you cut it up and then you
Yeah.
have long hair that hangs over
But
that
you can't
short hair.
do that here.
You could cut it short and then you
You
could
can't. No,
and then you
can't.
could.
No, you can't.
You
But,
could.
like,
You could.
I'm
Nope.
pretty sure bangs hang in front of your face. So
Bangs
anyway,
are bangs.
You could
Like,
yeah.
imagine you
anyway,
have an
anyway.
undercut of bangs.
Stop. This is where we get into.
stop.
Stop Jordy LaForging.
So Lil Will is assaulting.
And you can't
Yes,
do the
like
whole thing
Scar.
like that.
Thank you, Board to Play. Thank
yes.
you. She-Hulk spoilers. Lil Will is assaulting Will Smith with a motorcycle.
Yeah, he is.
It gets a little. This is where it sort of
Lil?
descends into.
I wish I had this painted like Jordy LaForge's eye thing.
Shut up. I'm sorry, that was super rude. I do think it was funny. Anyway, this is where they start fighting hand to hand, and it gets real Gumby. Like the hands really do this
Yeah,
sort of
everything
like.
is like.
It is weird.
Yes.
When is this
Okay,
happening?
that is when right away I go, hold on, is Lil Will 100% CGI? Like, or is he a
Right.
person pretend
It's gotta
with the
be
face?
because
you know.
Is it a person or is it the 120 frames per second is throwing me off?
It
What drove
looked-
me so nuts was
I agree, Janelle. I can probably get a sticker, and I should.
You should actually. That's really good.
Yeah, that would
What
be
drove
good.
me nuts was like I'm thinking about because I'm a Marvel guy. I'm like, when did they make Captain America 1, where they put Chris
God.
Evans' face
Pretty
on a real
old.
skinny dude? You know
When
when
was
it
it,
was? 2011.
Whoa.
8 years before
So
this.
this should have been easy breezy, beautiful.
They know
cover
how to
girl,
do
right?
this.
They can.
And I
You're
think
good.
the face on body looks good most of the time.
But up close, it looks like a video game character
It's a little-
standing
yeah.
next to real
He's kind of
people.
like floating. And I don't-
Something's
He
not right.
walked. It honestly, I think it might just be the way the
don't know what it
actor
is.
walked that makes him look. I don't know.
I saw some images though that it is Will Smith when he's doing young Will. For
What?
some of it, probably
That
not when
would
they're
be
There's like
interacting
times
too
where
much.
they're like fighting each other though.
Well, then it has to be someone else, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
I
got to
hope
be a
they
body
didn't.
double.
But
Yeah.
a lot of times, like you said, Ken, it's like Gumby. Like their arm looks like
And
it's
like
very
a
like
dude will do a kick, and it's like, man, his foot is 8 feet over there, and it kind of like snaps, or it does this
it's
weird rubber
It's
thing.
not normal.
This is the point at which you're like, as soon as the clone comes in, you're like, something's not right
Which is
anymore.
weird because
Feels
man,
off.
you could have
could
done.
be
I feel
good.
like this could have been really cool. There's a really cool Gemini
Right.
Man movie out there somewhere. Not here, though.
But,
Not
yeah.
here. Anyway,
I know, but
So-
it was almost there. Like we were almost there until now.
we got
Wait, but-
close.
After he
We got so close.
After he leapfrogs, Lil Will runs away. Henry goes to jail because
Why does he
people
run
must
away?
have called the.
Oh, the cops
I
come.
think because the cops come.
Because it got crazy. Yeah.
And in the end, the Baron and Danny come and like get him out of jail. I don't know if they pretend to be like someone else, like, oh, we need this, whatever.
Yeah,
They don't
I
really
don't know.
explain it. They get him
It
out of
doesn't
jail.
matter.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've
Henry
been
wants
trying
to
so
go.
hard to find Geordie LaForge.
Oh my god.
I-
Why
Eyewear
don't you try
stickers.
so hard to find mutant CGI Luke Skywalker and then compare it
Yeah,
to
there you
Lil
go.
Will? Because I know which one looks better. It's Lil Will.
Lil Will definitely looks better.
Yeah, but oh wait,
Like,
Henry wants to go to
do you remember
Budapest.
Baby, was it Rogue One, Rouge One?
Like what?
Rogue One. Princess Leia looked like rubber on top of a
Right.
animatronic.
Yeah, it was like obviously messed
It
up.
was like
Like a-
insane, like loose
Like
rubber.
a Chuck E. Cheese.
I'm not kidding. That was gross.
I know, but I just
I
It
bet
was
that movie
gross.
came out the same year as this. When did Rogue One come out?
Should I buy this?
no.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
No, if someone would like to purchase this for Ben, that'd be great. But no, Ben, no.
Like
no.
I feel like I need to buy this like perfect
Because
Geordie
you made the
LaForge.
joke like
Rogue One
18
was
times.
2016. So
Is it big enough for my giant
Mine.
head? Probably
Probably
not.
No,
not.
6
No.
5.5
6
inches?
inches.
No
You
way.
got a
That's not
monster
fitting.
skull.
No.
Yeah. That
Not
wouldn't
on
even
this
fit
noggin.
mine. Not
Nope.
on this. Not these basketballs.
That's not gonna happen.
all right.
I need like a
Anyway.
12-incher.
Right. You have like a
Okay.
Who cares about this
telescoping
movie? We
short
finished all the
shorts.
good parts. The rest of it sucks.
Shush.
Yeah, that's true.
Henry gets out
That's
of jail. Danny and the Baron get him out. Okay, he wants to
Oh,
go to
the
Budapest to find out.
We got to go to Budapest. Where
To
were they? Colombia?
Yeah.
They're gonna fly from Colombia to Budapest.
Budapest.
How are they gonna make that happen?
There's a lot of flight.
They gotta
to
steal the
find
Gulf Stream.
to
That's
find
what they're
out the guy who knew the guy he killed or whatever.
Well, we're back, way back on the boat story of
Okay.
why Henry's being hunted at all.
But
Because he might talk to this informant.
but this is when Danny is like, "Whoa, that guy looked a lot like you, bitch."
like he looked
And-
a lot like.
and-
Yeah, I didn't.
Did
and
she even
so-
see him?
But
Also,
she
did Will Smith not see him? Like
well,
He clearly did because he didn't take the shot.
we
he was
saw
like, I
the
know.
scope. We
But this
saw
is
like
the-
when-
looking in a mirror.
this is when Danny goes, "Is it possible you have a kid?" And he goes, "No." And I want to go,
It's
"Are you
only
sure about
$60 for that
Chance?
visor.
Like, are you sure though?
Let's watch the video.
It's only
Ben,
$60 to have a
stop.
kid. There was a cool. There was a
No,
cool
but-
fight scene there where they play with a mirror. They're talking to each other in a dirty mirror. So
yeah. mhm.
the movie
Yeah.
tries to obscure who Lil Will is.
It
But,
does,
like,
but it's
what's
pretty
the point?
obvious.
The mark,
Yeah.
it's all over the marketing.
It's
It's, the
all
whole
over there.
premise of the
Yeah,
film.
that's the marketing
That's the thing,
ruined
if they didn't
the
market it like
surprise of the
that.
movie.
Yeah, it could have been
Um,
like. Anyway,
But the fact that Danny is like, "Could you have had a kid?" And he's like, "No." And I go, "Are you sure, champ?
He's-
Like, are you
he's
sure you
certain.
never?"
Never.
This is
no.
not a like.
maybe he's a
This
virgin.
is not a female scenario.
I mean,
hey,
that's the
do you remember
implication.
birthing a child? This is, I don't know.
Set
have you
it and
slept
forget
with
it.
Anyone
right?
randomly?
Ron Popeil.
Like, and him going, "No, not possible ever."
It,
and then
it was weird, and they
Are you
spend
sure?
they spend a lot
This
a
could've-
lot of time on it too. She asks him,
Yeah, she's like, well,
Several
she's probably like
times.
us. She's probably
sure about
Several
that?
Aren't you
ways.
sure?
yeah,
And
he's,
he's-
like, "Blah, blah, blah."
Not possible.
It's like, okay.
Never. Hate families. And you're
It's
like,
fine.
Like,
okay,
what's he
calm down.
saying?
Like,
I know for certain.
I know I've
Yeah.
never done
I've
that.
never.
Ever.
Check out this. I want this
Oh my
so
God,
bad.
Stop it.
Look at how
Stop
cool
it.
this
Stop
is.
it.
To make
Stop
your
it.
like, look
If
at how
it's
good
not-
this. It looks just like Next Generation,
If
doesn't
it's
it?
not
Ben, you
functional,
don't even like
if it
Next
had a
Generation.
functional,
I love
numpad,
Next Generation. Are you kidding me? I don't like Next Generation. Like, who you even talking to right now?
Listen,
Okay,
Star
what's the
Trek.
last Next Generation show you watched?
Stop it.
What are you talking?
We
I
have
don't know
spent-
the names of the
we're-
episodes. Next
we're gonna
Generation is
spend
one of
so
the
much
like.
time
Oh
on
my
this
God.
movie.
Ben,
This is going to be the longest
Get that
to
out
list
of here.
ever.
Okay.
Can I please get this Next Generation mouse?
No.
pad?
No.
It makes my whole desk look
Even
like I'm
Ken
working
said
at
no.
a.
Oh wait, now we are
As
in
your
We're
attorney.
in Georgia again.
I advise
So-
you not to purchase that mouse pad.
We see Lil Will, and all of a sudden he's at Clay's house, and you're going,
Junior?
"What the fuck?" And you're like, first of all, you can't tell at first if it's Henry or Lil Will or what's going on. And Clay sees him and he's like, "What are you doing here?" And then you find out that Clay is essentially his dad.
Oh,
and
he
Lil
is
Will,
for all intents
Lil
and
Will is a
purposes.
clone of Henry, but Clay has raised him as his kid. And so he's
Yeah.
like helping him with his wounds. And then he's like, "Yo, you want cereal, little guy?" Like
He's
that
like,
kind of thing, which is
I
weird.
I thought this was gonna pay off more. That he's kind of naive, right? I thought, oh, that's kind of he's kind
Yeah.
of he's sort of underdeveloped in a certain
Right.
way.
Yeah.
Where like this guy, he's supposedly raising him as his son, but he sort of acts like an 8-year-old or a 9-year-old or something.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, that's sort of a cool angle. But no, it's
Not
just
really.
sort of weird. They
It's
never really
awkward.
come back to it.
And
Yeah.
it's never
Yeah, it
clear.
doesn't
Like
make
Clay
sense.
insists he's a good dad, but it's never made clear whether he is or is not.
Well, he's
and I
also
wish
like,
it
shitty
would.
in
but
this movie.
he's
but
like, "You should
maybe
really
he
finish
was.
that kill."
Maybe he was. I mean, he's like. I mean,
Well,
Lil
finish
Will's
what you
like
started,
20
son.
something, right?
But
Like,
why would you have him?
I think he's 19. I think
But-
that's the
okay.
Why would you send him on that job in general?
right.
You just wouldn't, because it's obvious that's going to go wrong. You would send someone else.
This
And
is his
to
final
clean this
test.
up.
Yeah, he has to do this.
But
He
it's
does say he's like, "It's
why-
for you emotionally." No, because he also didn't want him to find out he's a clone. Yet you sent. It doesn't
Yeah,
make any
it's
Right.
sense.
weird.
It does
You
not
wouldn't do
make
that.
any sense.
You would
It's
not
the
do
last person you'd send.
that. Ben, I'm on
I
page
think
4.
There's
I have
even
to
a
go back.
funny there's even a moment in this movie where I think they say, "Why wouldn't you just send a missile?" And they're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
you are the missile." And it's like, okay, did not answer my question.
Yeah,
Send
what?
the missile.
But you could have sent a missile.
Yeah. Or have some guy snipe my house. That would have been easy, right?
Yeah,
Like
post up.
not
What-
creeping up. Like
It was-
straight up post up for 2 days and just snipe me when I go to the
Yeah.
boat.
Well, for me specifically, his name is Clay Varys, and occasionally they call him Varys, was really weird because in the D&D
Ona
campaign
Varys?
that took 2 years that we
boy,
just
here we
finished,
go.
Oh.
one
Okay.
of the characters' names played by Gage was
Clay
Varys.
Ass.
No, it was
Varys.
Varys. Varys
So
ass.
you really couldn't connect to the character because of that?
All right. Anyway, so they
Okay.
do go to Budapest by stealing a Gulfstream jet, which the Grand Sorcerer
It doesn't
or whatever
matter.
is
It's
very
a
excited
whatever.
about.
Wanger's got it for him. Yeah.
I'm just gonna read what Emily wrote here. Danny's
Yep.
trying to see if they are related. She has young Will's hat and Henry's blood to test. She got the results back. I don't know where she sent them, but
Yep.
he
She
is
goes to a
you.
lab. He's you.
All caps.
It's
He is you.
It's a carbon copy DNA are the test results.
They did 3 tests. 3 came back identical. He's Henry's clone. A clone doesn't mean you're the same. You don't think the same thoughts.
Okay.
True.
Sure.
Identical twins aren't the same people,
Sure.
right?
Do they have the
You know?
same DNA?
You're just very similar. Then they're at the spa, and I wanted to go to this Budapest spa. It looked
I don't
really
remember
enjoyable.
This. What are you talking
I liked
about?
how they would have like scenes on the balcony in the bathrobes, and then they would have scenes in other parts of the spa, and then they would cut back to the scene on the balcony, and they're still in bathrobes. And I was like, I just love that the whole time they're in the spa, they're like in bathrobes.
What are you talking about? Get to the
So he-
plot.
Um,
I'm sorry.
he's talking to the informant. He's talking to the informant that he was told about way long ago on the boat.
Oh
Uh,
gosh,
And
yeah,
he-
you're
this
right.
is where he finds out the guy he had to kill last is actually a guy who was working
good
in the
guy.
lab.
Air
and
quotes. Good
yeah,
guy.
he had been working on like genetic manipulation. So he helped with the original clone, but he also had been working on genetic manipulation to make essentially like genetic robots. Clones
Yeah.
of Henry, but they had been modified to like
Yeah.
be obedient or
Robotic,
whatever.
right?
Robotic
Don't speak,
manipulations.
don't think. Yeah.
And he like didn't like that, so he quit. He obviously told this guy about it, and then that got him killed by Henry,
Oh.
which is ironic because that's the person he was
Full
cloning
circle.
in all his tests.
I see, like this movie has very good story to tell.
I agree. Up to this point, there's a clone that's like young and like not tired, but obviously
Forget
older
about it.
Henry outsmarted him already once.
Well, experience, right? It's the classic.
He outsmarted him once. And but the clone has proven to be more athletic. Now we find out about the potential of like genetic manipulation of more robotic clones. Does that pay off? Of course not.
Where are we?
No, why would it? I think I tuned out during that conversation.
But we found out the stuff that Henry was. The reason why they were trying to kill him was so that he didn't find out this stuff. Right?
Okay.
Now he finds it out. Then he calls Janet. Again, the DIA agent. Let's go back to several pictures ago.
The lady who's acting the hell out of this
movie. The lady who was
They-
supposed to get him, who I could get him killed, and she doesn't.
She
he
fails.
insists he wants to talk to Lil Will, but like you wrote one sentence here about this. This is probably one of the best scenes in the movie.
It's a good scene,
Yes.
but I was also
Yes.
kind of like, what's going on?
A bike
So
courier shows up and says like, I have a message for you that I was
Yeah.
paid to deliver.
Yeah.
And he like reads it and it's like,
It
hey,
was like there's
you're
shooters at 10
surrounded.
and 2 also.
Yeah, you have shooters at 10 and 2.
He's reading a letter about whatever she did wrong while Henry is telling her that there are shooters closing in on her.
Yes.
So she's absolutely panicking
Yeah, she's
in
freaking
this
out.
coffee shop, like just sitting there like
And it's never
Yeah.
made clear whether he's
it's like
just
it's from
lying.
a different
I don't think
Right.
there were shooters.
Or
Like
if the-
she looks at the guy at 10 and the guy at 2.
They
And it's
looked
not
there.
it's not obvious whether they're
Yeah.
there
working with
but
Henry or not.
They're just walking around and
But she doesn't trust that. You can
the
tell that she's
courier
like,
could be the
"Okay."
shooter.
Could be, couldn't be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like this scene is out of a different movie.
Once again,
terms of
it's
quality.
yes, exactly.
It's like anyway.
And then we get back to Gemini.
Yeah.
Henry and Danny, so they're gonna meet with Lowell. They're waiting in a car.
She arranges it. Sorry, the DI lady
Yes.
arranges for them to meet with Lil Will. But doesn't
yeah.
she give Lil Will the directive to
Probably kill.
God, what happens here?
I don't remember exactly what she said.
Big Willie Style calls in and says, "You're gonna have Lil Will take Danny
Yeah.
and remove her." So
he's
she
trying
doesn't
to get her out safely.
right.
Yes.
That's
Or
like his main
Yes.
you're gonna have
objective.
That
Lil
is
Will
right. That
come
is
after
right.
me. He's
Yes.
trying to get rid of
He's like
Danny.
yeah.
As far as and
Yeah.
it seems genuine that his
Dan-
main objective is to get Danny out,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. Like
Yep.
I got her involved in this. I shouldn't have.
He said
Can we
she-
just
yes.
get her out?
Just remove her. Yep.
But if you remember, when they talked
Uh-oh.
before the coffee shop scene, she was like, the only way out of this is if you talk to the clone.
Little
Right.
You need to talk to the clone.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I feel like is happening in all this is like sort of like is the term like Machiavellian? Like it's very like very
It's above
thought through,
my-
very
Sure.
arranged.
It's above my pay grade. Well, what you have are she's telling him one thing while she's thinking the other, right? Like, I
Yeah.
I can remove Danny and have you talk to this kid at the same time.
Right.
And
Yeah.
Will Smith can have Danny removed and possibly talk to the kid, right? Even though he's
Exactly.
selling her one thing. It's really well done. It's how real people would sort of, yeah, we can do this, but I'm also doing this, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's still a Jason Bourne situation
It's
at
yeah.
this point.
Yeah.
So Danny meets with him. He like essentially strips her down to be like, "Do you have a
This was
wire?"
weird. Again.
Blah blah blah.
But actually it's not. And I wrote a comment about this. He asks her to strip naked, and they never do any.
they do not show her.
They never do any
That's true.
shots that
That's
are
true.
like
Below the waist.
taking advantage of the
It's
fact
like,
that
it's
she's.
like below
Yes.
They
the
do a very good
practically
job of showing that
shoulders.
he forces her to strip down to prove she doesn't have
You're
a
But
wire
he's
absolutely
also
right.
without
not a
showing her in any way.
But
You're
even
correct.
Lil Will is
It's
also
so
not
classy and well done that I was still so on board with
Yeah,
this movie.
but
Say it,
not
Emily,
only Big Will, but Lil
because
Will is also not a creep about it. Like he's legit going, "Do you have a wire?" End of
he's
story.
visibly uncomfortable with the
Yeah.
fact that he has to have her
When
prove
he does
she's
the
not wearing
feel,
a wire.
Man, this
when he does
scene
the
is
feel,
so
it's like
good.
from here
It's
up,
It's
so
really
and
good.
he's like, "Okay,
Absolutely
get dressed,
right.
we're going." Like
Yep.
he's not being a creep about
I think there's
it.
even a section where he
Yeah.
is visibly uncomfortable with checking her
Yep.
front, right? Patting down her front.
Yeah.
But I have to check.
And it's off camera, but you see their two faces. She knows
do
what
like
he's
that.
doing. He's visibly uncomfortable because he's behind her, and she credit to her for the actor. I feel like you could see she could tell he didn't know what he was doing, which
Yeah.
sure enough, she has a tracker on her later as we see,
Right. Yeah.
because he doesn't find it. And so
Yes.
it's
It was
another
such.
really-
It's
like that's how you do it. That's
I'm
how
at
you
this
do it.
point,
yeah.
I'm still on board, and this is a good litmus test for like, is this movie like
Show us her naked.
fair, whatever? Yeah, like,
You
and
know.
then
Yes.
they nail the scene, and you're like, I am
Okay.
so on board.
Cool.
Yes,
Yes.
good
Just
job.
keep
You're
going.
still good. It's not this weird, like awkward. Yeah.
And they don't over sexualize it. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
He takes her to. Okay, is it like a museum? What is it?
No,
It's
it's like a
what is it? It's
a
cathedral or a
historical,
citadel or
Something.
church
it's
or something.
and then under the
Right? I
church
wasn't
is
sure
the like
what.
catacombs. Meet me
Okay.
in the catacombs of the blah blah blah.
He takes her there. He essentially rips out the lights, sets up a tripwire, ties her up. You know, it's all like to get Big Will to come. You know, it's
Big Will. Big
Yeah.
Willie's
It's dark.
Big
He's
Will.
gonna trip over the tripwire. He's
all this stuff.
it's a trap.
Henry gets there, and quickly, within honestly 30 seconds, tripwire's gone, and right away you're like, well, he's done so. Well, guess what? It was all the plan.
Right. She had the
This is
wire.
so badass.
She was reciting
Yes.
what Lil Will was
Yeah,
doing.
she was like, "Oh, you're gonna set
as
up the
they're
wire,
walking.
blah blah blah."
Turn off the
Yep.
lights, like, geez,
Big Will
like,
has
I
a
bet
gun on
you.
Lil Will.
Yeah, I bet there's
Yeah.
a gas grenade. You know, and he's sort
Mhm.
of. It's God in a better movie.
He
the
is
scene
dumb.
is really embarrassing for him because
But
he
it's-
feels in complete control as he's putting on a night
Yes.
vision and the mask. And
he's got it all planned out.
Well,
guess
he's
what?
dumb in the same way that they talk
He's-
about
he's
as
new.
a 20-year-old starting a
He's
new
new.
job, and you're 50, and you go, "Hey, dipshit, like
Yeah.
Dumbo, here we go." It's the same exact thing.
Yep.
Where then Henry has him gunpoint, and he's like, "Of course I knew." Like, you
Yeah.
know, and there's a tooth transmitter thing, so he could hear everything. With this one, I thought Lil Will's voice every time he talked sounded like it sounded like pre-recording coming back
Yeah.
into.
It's what's it called? ADR, or they record the dialogue after if he didn't
But
quite
it-
get it right, or
just the way it sounded in the situation. I go, well, now the CGI plus that is like,
well, because I think whoever the body double is, what was that?
Which there has to be a
Okay.
body double.
There has to be a body
Well, there
double.
has to
He's
be,
half
right,
the
for this
size
situation.
of Big Will. There's a body double who's, I think, saying the lines.
well, I'm sure, right? And then Will
He has to
records
play
it, and
young
they
Will
probably-
before he ever was in.
But then Big
what's
Will
that
has
zombie
to
movie?
Big Will has to record it, and
I
then
Am
they
Legend.
like
That's
audio.
Yeah.
a great movie.
That's a good movie.
That is
A horrible adaptation of the book, but a great movie. The book is
Good
really,
movie.
really good.
That
Yeah.
movie's sad.
Movie's really good too. Anyway, and I'm sure there's some sort of weird
Like,
audio
I
recording thing
understand why it sounds weird, but I just want to go.
that. Yeah.
I hate it.
Yep.
Is all
That's fair.
I don't like it. Like I
Yeah.
can tell now it's like a CGI Gumby pre-recorded, and they're talking to. It's just.
Yeah.
I just hate it.
But it's weird because is there a body double? Or is it all CGI? I don't know.
There
It's
is a body
bizarre.
double
There
because
has
I
to be
saw
a body
some
double.
shots where it's Will Smith and some shots where it's someone else. Is what
Well,
I
because
saw.
they've even done, I hate, I don't want to keep referencing Marvel crap, but I know they
Well.
composted Chris Evans' face on a body double for that part.
Composted.
That's what the word, right? or
I think so. I mean, I don't know.
you
Either way,
compost
whatever.
it, right?
Sure,
I
go
don't
for
know.
it.
Isn't composting like rotting?
Well, yeah, it is also
Well,
that.
I mean,
Anyway, but wasn't
Space
there
Dub?
what movie did they also make a guy really skinny? Didn't they make
Oh,
like
gosh.
Thor or
Yeah, there's
they
something.
did somebody
Can't
where they
think of it.
shrunk him
probably
down?
Thor or
Well, I have to
yeah,
say,
I know what
like,
you mean though.
like
They can
there's
do that,
a little
which
bit
is
of uncanny
why...
valley in this whole movie.
It's because he's all
Overall.
Gumby like.
But
Overall,
it's the best.
It's
the
good.
The
best.
best I've seen,
Yeah,
without a
for-
doubt.
I could just tell.
Like you could make
though.
an argument that it's, but this is the only one I've ever seen where you could make the argument that like it
This
doesn't look
works.
fake
this works. We
It-
can do
compared to all
this.
those other ones.
Yeah.
It works. I think what it's not even the face for me. It's the clothing. It's like I could tell the
Oh.
clothing was fake, and I hated
Really?
But
it.
when they're wrestling and fighting,
And
it's
one
Oh,
looks
it's
like
definitely a
Gumby?
body. It's a
I
well. There's two
can't
different
take that.
scenarios. There are fighting scenes where it's definitely a stand-in. It's a stuntman.
Yeah.
Right. It's two stuntmen. It's not Will Smith. Right.
No,
It's,
yeah, exactly. It's two. Yeah.
It's two stuntmen, and then there are other scenes where it's two CGI models.
It's that, like you said, Ken. They're
Rubber
like leg
slapping
whips
together.
around, and you're like,
Yeah.
"That's not something's not
just
right."
the lighting's not quite. There's
Um,
something off.
Something's off. Anyway.
But in this, he talks about he's like, "You're my clone," and of course, Lil Will's like an idiot, and he's like
Right.
trying to deny it. This is what I hate. Excuse me. When he's like, "Let me guess, you like chess, you can't sleep, you hate cilantro." That's not how fucking
Everybody
cloning
hates
works,
cilantro. He says,
okay?
and I'm like, I love cilantro.
Yeah, first of
I
all, I
love
like
cilantro.
it,
Don't say
My-
that.
but cloning
Yeah.
doesn't work as like
How
we
do
have
you
the
know?
same. We have the
How do
same
you know?
thoughts.
It would, but
That's
you,
not
if you,
how it
I
works,
think
Ken.
cilantro hatred, cilantro tasting like soap is a
that
genetic
genetic?
thing.
Well, it's a simple question of is it a genetic trait or is it not? Right.
But like likes
that's
and
what cloning
dislikes are
is.
not genetic.
Right. I get what you're
Well,
saying. Yeah.
So he's
Any
like, "Let me
version
guess,
of
you
me
can't
would-
sleep until blah blah blah," and you're like, "No,
That is
it's-
weird
Does
because
not work like that."
because there's
It
a lot
does,
of
and
emphasis.
That's how it works.
Well, because there's a lot of emphasis on Big Will having nightmares of a
Yeah.
very successful
But
assassin career.
I liked this part. I liked.
You
I was.
liked
I,
this
But the
I,
confrontation
I-
is good.
Yeah, I
Yes,
believed like the
but what
way
I
he's trying to
hate-
convince him, like I am you. You
I
are
get
a
that.
clone.
What I hate is saying if I was a clone, I wouldn't be like, "Let me guess, you love like."
But
I
just
we
do
don't have the
this.
same
You make
dislikes.
just
You
Just-
make
Yeah,
this
go,
motion.
look at this.
Look at my
Just
face.
like the sniper scene where Will Smith celebrates the success of the assassination, and then immediately later is like, "I missed."
Yeah.
It's the same thing here where he's like, "Shut up, you liar," and
Yeah.
in the next scene he's like, "So guess what? I found out I'm a clone," and I
Okay,
loved that.
but-
I
Okay.
loved that he was like, "No, I don't believe you," and
Yeah.
then when it cuts to the next scene, he's like,
That's fair.
"I'm a clone, aren't
I
I?"
feel
Good
like that's just a
observation.
20-year-old.
Yeah, I guess that's how
That's
I
an
thought of
idiot.
it too. Yeah.
That's
But
just
he
an
immediate-
idiot
he the
kid
whole
that you're
time-
like, "Are you
he
listening?"
came-
They're
he-
like, "Shut up!" And
He
then the
came
next
out of that
day
whole
they're-
thing totally believing old Will Smith.
I
Yep,
agree.
I think you're
what
right.
I'm
Yeah.
saying is, he's like, "Let me guess, you only like when you're sniping," and then go, "Your likes are not the same if you're cloned." That's
love
based
I don't
on
know.
what you're raised
Like, have you ever
as.
talked to my clone?
That's true.
Oh,
That's
God.
fair. There are some
well,
definitely not
you
genetic
guys-
things that kids pick up.
Janelle's allergic to cilantro, and I'm
That's
so sad.
made up, so
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
I don't think that's a thing.
that's not even funny.
Is that a thing?
No, that's not a thing. You can't be
Sorry,
allergic to
you're not.
cilantro.
You
What
should
kind
go
of
try
plant
it.
is
Is what we're.
cilantro?
What if you like
family?
went to the grocery store and it comes in a little bundle similar to parsley, and you just
Who you think you're talking to?
Who are you talking
We
to
know
right
what
now?
cilantro is.
Like, it comes in a
Well,
little green.
What I'm saying is, a lot of times, if you have parsley and cilantro, unless you look at the little label,
Sure,
hard,
you could
hard
get
to
'em
tell
mixed
them
up.
apart. You gotta
Yeah,
look at the
sometimes,
little.
but you
That's
can
fair.
smell the difference.
You gotta look at yeah. If you smell them, you can tell for sure. You gotta look at the little thing.
Anyway,
That's what she said.
All right, that's the
Hen-
last time this movie's good.
Henry and Lil Will start fighting. They essentially fall into water because they're like in the, I don't know, pipes and shit. Danny comes and is like, drop him, because he's like drowning Big Will. Because
Oh,
he's
is
afraid
he?
of water.
Mm.
And then he runs away.
Yeah, Little Will won
He
the
won for that
confrontation.
one.
He was
I don't
choking him
remember
out.
that.
He was
Okay.
like drowning
Huh.
him. But as he runs away, Lil Will goes, I'm not young. And you're like, I feel
I
like.
thought he says, I'm not you.
He says,
Does
"I'm
he?
not you."
I'm
Yeah.
not you.
Okay,
He
well,
definitely
yes,
says,
so.
"I'm not you."
I was like, really? Are we saying this?
"I'm not young" would be
Um,
like, what is this, like a
Well, that's why I was
Saturday
like,
afternoon
what is
special?
this, a
Look
kid?
at this. This is like somebody continuing to like,
Stop lying to
God.
yourself.
yeah, stop lying.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Go smell it. Prove it. Come
it.
here.
I've heard the
Are you coming to
soap
Nerd
thing.
Fest? I'm bringing cilantro.
That's so sad. I love cilantro.
Makes me quite sick. Yeah, that sucks. Don't eat it.
But
Don't smell
We're
it.
gonna like,
Big
you
Will
know, like
and Danny.
wave
Shake
it
them around.
Oh my god. Go back to Georgia. So
Oh,
they go back to
gosh.
Georgia. We're just gonna kill Janelle quick.
Yeah.
If
Janelle's not from Georgia. Or are you talking about Henry?
I'm talking about Henry.
That's what
dude.
it sounded like. You wanted to
I
send
think you were telling her to
Janelle
go to
back
Georgia.
to
No, I'm trying to get
I
us
was
back
like,
on
whoa.
track.
That was kind of a deep dig. I don't know.
Wow.
Go back to Georgia,
Calm
Janelle.
down,
Like, wait,
Yeah,
what?
There you go. Just
We're gonna
micro-
be
slap.
fine.
We're gonna
Okay.
slap her with a bundle.
Do it like it
There
was
we go.
acid.
Like
Just
one of
Let's
those.
see
It's
what
like wet.
happens.
It's wet still from being on the at the grocery store.
Do
Mister.
like a-
Mister? Yeah.
Do like a
could do that.
sauna where you take big.
I would love to go to a sauna where somebody slaps me with whatever
Man,
that
are
is.
you and me
Cilantro?
both, brother? Are you kidding?
Right. It's so hot I can barely
Have you
take it, and I'm
seen
getting
Oh God,
smacked.
I hate it.
Those
I hate
weird,
it.
like,
Why do you like
Polish-
saunas?
I miss
I
the
would. I would kill
They-
to have a sauna.
when I lived in the UP. It was very easy to find a sauna.
You
It
couldn't
Where
throw a
it was-
stone without hitting a sauna.
It was a wood-fired sauna, so there was no limit to how hot it could get.
Oh, I hated
and
it.
it would get
I
so
don't like
hot.
that,
It would get
but-
so hot in there. I remember one time this was when I was
if
cool
you
and
had
I
a
was wearing
ring
a
or a
necklace.
necklace and it's like
It would
burning
burn you.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, that's the worst. And you're like, get it off. Like, yeah.
Gosh,
That's
I
how
love saunas.
Ben got all those cool brass choker burns on his neck.
Right.
Oh my God. Okay. Clay is talking
Emily
about.
said I needed to have facial hair if I was growing my hair out. So
Yeah.
Which way is that? Oh, you're doing the one guy.
If he's doing the one guy, he's got to have some
What's his
facial
name?
hair.
It's a
He can't
Sealdor's
be
dad.
a baby.
oh shoot.
You have to
It's
start with the C.
dang it.
Casealdor?
I'll look it up.
No, I think it
so.
might be
Is it
Casealdor.
Casealdor? And he
Cas-
named his son Casealdor?
Ellendale.
Allendale.
Okay, that's totally opposite.
So we totally missed it. Never mind.
Big fans, big fans.
Mm-hmm.
Clay's talking to Lil Will. Lil
I
Will
still haven't finished it. I need
is saying how much he hates all this shit. But he's saying he's like, I hated when I was little. You told me like my mom left me. That's not true. All this crap. Hold on. I gotta turn the page. Gotta make sure I know what I'm talking about. So obviously he knows about the clone. Lil Will's pissed. And then he says the whole point is to get Henry's gifts without all the pain. And he's
Oh.
like, I think I did that for you. Like, I feel like you had a great. Okay,
So
thank
you're
you,
gonna
Ben.
you're gonna go with a middle part. That's a strong choice.
I think I have
We'll
to.
see.
Well, I think
don't
if
think
I
you have to, but
You got to get the fluff up. He's got the
I think you
last
get
thing
whatever
you want.
part works.
You don't want to
Yeah.
part it and look like Morticia Adams.
like
Right.
if I just push it back, but it was long,
It's
I
like-
think it would
yeah,
middle
you gotta
part.
you gotta do where it falls.
Like
on.
Right.
mine'll fall farther in than my actual part if I just leave it.
Like it
I think
would.
the problem is when
Yeah.
it's like to your ears. Like that's a problem.
I just want to undercut my bangs.
But that's
you
when
know,
you-
I want to
Son.
cut
no, not
to
the
here.
bangs. Why
That's
would
when you
do
have to be
that?
And then-
strongest is when it gets
Dear
to your
Lord.
ears and you look like an 18-year-old trying to have long
What if
hair.
I did one? What if I
do
did
a Hovey
this?
Benjamin? Yeah, get buzz the sides and comb it down.
Right, no
Oh,
side.
God.
That's what all the kids do now.
What if I?
They've got
yeah.
that.
What
They
if
got
I
that
had it
shit
like
up
this
front.
all the time?
Like,
I can't even get it to stay there.
Oh God, please don't do
You
that.
got to put product in and comb it forward.
Why would you want
I
that?
saw a dude at the gym today making sure it was all pulled forward.
He was making sure.
Yeah,
That's
he had the
stupid, though.
phone
How
out.
old was he?
Look at if
Oh,
my
he
hair
was-
was
he was
straight,
17,
it goes
for
past
sure.
my
Yeah,
eyes.
I
Look
don't
at
want
this.
that.
It's because I got curly hair, but if it was
Not for
straight,
you.
look at
It's
this.
for me.
I got bangs.
I got bangs.
Look at how long this
I
hair
got
is.
bangs.
That's the song. Go look up "I Got Bangs" by Hovey Benjamin. And
Look at this.
I run into my ex. She gonna
Imagine
be so
if I had
surprised
straight
when
hair.
she see my hair
Oh, that'd
form
be
a
hideous.
horizontal line. It's good.
Oh my God.
All right,
Okay,
I'm sorry.
Clay
let's-
tells.
We're
Clay,
never gonna. We're
no,
way
sh-
past the
Clay,
runtime of
no,
this
we're
movie.
not. Clay
No, we're
tells
not. It's
Lil
pretty long.
Will that he needs to get through his like hit job, and he's like, you have to do this for you, which is like, what the fuck? What dad would be like,
Yeah.
you have to kill?
I love
your
you, son. Now go
clone
kill
or
your clone.
Not your
dad.
clone, but I guess your
Junior.
Your
I was a
source.
good dad. I loved you.
Yeah, he
Okay,
keeps
that is
saying
what he's
that,
like,
but-
and you're like,
Okay.
you just keep giving me
But
cereal.
again, show us, don't tell. Show us, don't tell.
Right.
This is like a common
Yeah.
movie.
Right.
This is where the movie starts to fall apart. Is they begin
Excuse
to
me.
tell us things without showing us
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
We saw Henry being awesome. We saw the clone being awesomer when it came to physical
Yeah.
things.
for
so
some things.
I've
And-
been
And also, when they first fought, when Lil Will went back to Clay, he's like, it's like he knew what I was about to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
you're
that
like,
was
also,
cool.
Yeah, it's cool, but that's not how cloning
it doesn't matter
works.
how it works in this movie. That was cool.
Like,
But
that's
what-
not
like,
cloning, though.
Well,
But
he's a clone, but he's had the same training. That's how I
I guess.
made sense.
I
of
don't
that.
know. I felt like they were like, we're in each other's heads, and you're like, no,
Eh,
you're not.
Are you though?
But
That's
like
cloning is a separate
Here-
Right.
process. I don't know.
the thing is, okay, where this movie starts to break down is where we transition from show don't tell to we're going to tell you stuff
Yeah.
and we're just going to expect you to believe it.
Yeah,
Yep. Which in some movies, to be fair,
fine.
entering into the third act, right, which we sort of are, the final ramp up, you can get away with that because assuming we're on board, you can get away with a little tell don't show.
Yeah.
But Junior and
Yeah, his
Clive
name's Junior, by the way, Lil Will. I don't
whatever
think we ever
Clive,
said that.
whatever Clive Owen's
Clay?
character is,
Ferris?
Clive Owen.
Yeah.
He keeps yelling, "I'm a good dad."
Yeah,
Lil
but you're
Will
like,
keeps yelling, "You're not," and you don't see any of that.
They never
Yeah.
show
they
whether
never
he
showed,
was
like,
or
hey,
not.
when you were little,
And
or
and
Was
because
he
of
or was
that,
he not a good dad?
all
I
the
don't know.
complexity of that potential relationship sort of goes away, and instead Clive Owen becomes generic bad guy,
yeah,
and suddenly Lil Will is sympathetic, sort of like, well, he's basically a baby at the
Yeah,
you know,
it's
like a
very,
train. He's Boss Baby Killer, starring
yeah.
Alec Baldwin,
Alec
Yeah.
Baldwin, yeah.
Boss Baby,
The
Boss
way
Baby
full
Killer.
throttle.
Ben was so on that. Yes, Alec Baldwin.
Yes, him.
Anyway,
Yes.
Yeah.
where are we at in the movie?
Okay,
So
the gang goes back to Georgia.
Why did they go back to Georgia to
I
kill
don't know.
Clay?
To kill Clay, yes. They're going to get a truck, and they're like sneaking into a barn, like in the dark, essentially.
Time
And this
for
is
some
when
assassin bees.
Lil Will
I'ma
I'm
shoot him with
surprised.
bees.
shoots
I'm-
him with bee venom, bitch.
I am surprised this movie did not have assassin bees in it. And I mean
well,
that
I
genuinely.
thought that was gonna happen.
Robot
yeah,
assassin
for sure.
bees.
But bee venom in a little dart.
Bee venom in a little
Okay.
thing. Big
Okay.
Will's about to die, and they're all screaming at Lil Will, just fucking, and they're yelling at
What
him.
I don't understand is how did Lil Will know?
Because
to
he's
be
probably
there.
also
Because
their
if they
clone,
are
bitch.
clone, it was a test. If they're
Jeez.
clones, he'll
Do you know nothing
be
about
paralyzed.
cloning?
If he's not,
Yeah, but why was he waiting there specifically
he's
in
waiting-
that barn?
We talked
waiting
about this
really
right
close.
after.
he shoots him like a paintball gun.
It's like
it's
5
from like
feet away.
12 feet away, and
He's behind like a hay
and they
bale.
turn around and it shows him like hiding in the darkness. Air quotes.
It's if
He's
I was
right there.
next to it.
He's
Yeah.
right there.
It's very obvious.
But they're also in like a random barn in the
Yeah,
middle
but
of
this
nowhere.
is why.
What is he
Because
doing
It
there?
doesn't matter.
He
You got-
does an
just roll with
EpiPen.
it.
He saves
Third
him.
act. Roll
He
with
says
it.
sorry. This is when Ben. They say, "How the fuck are you following us so good?" And he goes, "You
Oh,
have
he's
a
got
tracker
a
in
tracker.
you, idiot."
Ah,
Hey,
of
like
course.
3 years ago, you had surgery. They put a tracker in you,
See,
Dumbo.
but this is
And he cuts it
another-
out. This is when he's like, "Do you trust me?" Like Len style,
Yeah,
and he
they
like
have a
cuts
little
it out.
moment. This
Do you
is
trust
another
me?
thing
He doesn't have a
where
choice. He's about to die.
Yeah, like you just EpiPen me after B Venom.
so
but-
much of this movie expects you to sort of guess.
It's weird.
Like a good thriller sets up that somebody mentions offhand that all our agents are chipped, or
Yeah.
you had to have teased it somewhere. Is this the leg cam or knee
What is
cam?
this?
Yeah, we got
was
the
it
knee
called?
What's
cam.
happening right now?
We need to see how Emily was wearing a crop top. She's
Why do we have to see
fitting in with the
this?
kids. Let me see
I'm
it.
trying. I'm trying. This
Look
is
at
better
it.
than.
Why do you
the-
own a crop top?
Oh God, I'm sorry. Why?
Yeah,
like,
geez, careful what you wish
Jeez.
for.
Nobody's complaining.
Okay. No, well, you are right now.
Well, I'm just asking questions. We'll just do 2 memes.
This should be upstairs, like the dog cam, to
We
see
need
if
the
they're
dog
destroying
cam. There's the
something.
gin that we're finishing. The prosecco that we finished.
All
my
right, stop
pants.
this. Stop this.
Ben is like, we're way over on time. I'm
Yeah.
gonna continue.
My
Anyway.
socks?
Anyway, here's they're new. Look at that.
No holes.
Nice.
Okay.
Look,
the way
Mom,
you're
no
doing
holes.
your.
You've got like 5 holes in that sock.
There wasn't any holes.
Okay, so young
You
Will
saw
is now going to
nothing.
help them. They're talking in the car. He's driving them, which I'm like, for someone who's like, I'll help you. I don't know if I'd be like, you drive.
Right.
But
Right.
okay. And Big Will, Henry, is like, you can do whatever you want. He continues to be like, you could be a husband, a dad. I didn't get that. And I'm like, you're only like 55.
Dude, you obviously didn't want to.
This is
You
not
knew
that
you-
crazy.
Yeah.
Like, he keeps being like, I never had kids. And then like,
And there's
I
there,
don't know.
again,
It's weird.
it's tell don't show. There's a lot of like all you need is a flashback to him
Like-
having a wife, and that's it. Right?
Yeah.
He had
Or, like,
he was
were
married.
you in love? Did
Or
you meet?
like
I
he
don't
had
like,
somebody he was with and then
Yeah.
had to break up with him because of
Yeah,
his
right.
crazy
nothing.
lifestyle.
He's just like, I didn't have that. You should. And it's like, okay, calm down.
And should he? You don't.
Yeah, like
I mean,
what?
is
But this
he
is the
equipped to be
beginning
a
of the-
father? I don't.
But
I don't know.
the beginning of
Yeah,
the third
right?
act is they go from mortal enemies to a team
friends?
instantly.
Yes.
They go
Okay.
from
Yeah.
enemies to team.
They
B Venom is the cure.
they
All I need
stop.
to get EpiPen and we're best friends.
They stop at a red light. Junior gets a call. It's Clay, and he's like, "Run, bitch!" And a giant missile comes at their car.
And Clay
Everyone-
runs.
Everyone jumps out.
Junior runs.
Except for the Baron. He did
Wongers,
not
yeah.
get out of the car in
He's
time.
slow. That's because he opened
He's
a
done
portal.
so.
He didn't have to run. He did
No,
one of these.
I was watching this and I was doing the math. It's because they're in a single side open van. Wong was on the inside seat. He did not have time
No,
to
we
get
couldn't,
out
like,
of the van.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's no
It
way.
passes
you're
the
right.
test. It's
Um,
good.
It's past the test. Everybody had a door immediately
Except
adjacent
him.
to them, except him.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's done so. So,
Toast.
Gone.
so Junior
Rocket-propelled grenade.
essentially runs away. Danny and Henry
like a
go
bitch.
into like a convenience
I drank too
store.
much gin, I think.
Yeah, we noticed. Danny and Henry go in a convenience store. There are people across the street. Now we're talking like major, like Gatling guns, snipers.
Oh, yeah.
like, the whole
what's
fucking
his
works.
name?
50 cal.
Giant
Clive
machine guns, the
Owens,
whole works.
Personal army shows up.
They're
Literally
all up.
personal army. Gemini.
They're in
Tr-
a convenience store and they are shooting at them and they're
This
just
is
crawling
cool.
along.
This is a cool scene.
But how are they not hit at all?
Right. You got to
Let's-
suspend disbelief for a second.
Okay.
But this is a single shot, like pan
Yeah,
through
like-
this convenience store.
That's true.
it's
That
like
is a cool shot.
like the whole
Minigun
time.
is just
Yeah.
just
It's destroying
railing.
shit.
Like there are prolonged periods where all you see is dust.
Yeah.
Like You have no idea where the main characters are, but they're just like it's a cool single shot from a better movie that doesn't exist. Again,
While this is happening, Clay and Junior are on top of the roof, and Clay is beating up Junior at first.
this was weird.
But then Junior like has a gun. He instead of shooting Clay, he hits him in the face and like knocks him out. Is in
Really?
the end what happens for that? Yeah.
I wish he would have just like.
So Danny and Will are downstairs, and they are like they each have a gun from
Okay,
I don't know
yep,
some random
yep.
soldiers, and they're
Yep.
like, "Let's go." Now they're bopping around the little town, just outside, no gear, no nothing, with just a gun, and they are somehow taking out these soldiers left
Yeah,
and right.
they're good.
Like, these are soldiers.
What's he
and
say?
they're
He
like,
says some
"Doo,
sort
doo,
of
doo."
weird. He says like it's not tag 'em and bag 'em. It's like oh, you know what he says?
What?
He says
I don't know.
He says something like bump set spike, like you set I spike.
Oh yes, it
and
is something like
you're
that.
just supposed to like know what that means.
Which I would be like, "What?" And he would be out the door, and I go,
But then again, they sort of go through a door together, and it's a long, like
Yeah.
choreographed. They're doing like eliminating
know
these
what they're
guys with
doing. Yeah.
precision, and it's a cool scene.
Once again, it's still pretty good.
Yeah,
But then Danny gets shot in the leg. So she's shot in the
Right.
leg. They go into
another store. I guess
like a
hardware store.
outdoor hardware, like
Yeah.
something like that. So they're there. Then Junior comes and he like kills 3 guys that were about to kill them. He's ready to help. So it's like the gang's back. So her leg is hurt, but she's ready to go. Big
Mhm,
Will's there,
mhm.
Little Will's there. Clay wakes up on top of the roof. He tells a super soldier to go after them. The super soldier is essentially
out,
a
of,
robot.
out of nowhere. We've never
where
seen the
this guy
super
has come
soldier.
from. Out of
We have no
nowhere.
idea what his
He's like,
capabilities
go get
are.
him, bitch.
We have no like this is we've talked about this in other movie reviews before. I have a huge problem with villains who have not been
Right.
presented with any evidence with what they're why we should be afraid
Why we
of
should
this
care at
villain's
all?
powers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We there's been no evidence in any way to say that this villain is scary or not.
Right.
We don't know.
I don't
And-
know,
and-
but
All you had to do in this movie was say that, have a conversation that only the audience knows about.
Yeah.
Is that the Gemini project included multiple clones or multiple
yeah, or like
super
Well,
soldiers?
they
special
had the
soldiers
scene.
or whatever.
They
Yeah,
had the
something.
scene
but that wasn't enough.
with the informant that said that they had been doing genetic manipulation to make like
But he says like they want to do that.
Yeah,
I don't
but
know
they
if he
want,
says they
but
do.
like all we would have had to have seen was like we just needed one scene that we saw the capabilities of
Yeah.
these genetic robots.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
have this Clay guy who's sort of the main bad guy have a conversation with Junior. Maybe it's emotional, whatever, and then he sort of, I don't know, walks through a couple doorways into the training room.
Like,
Yes.
Yes,
something.
or the fact
know.
that he is shown that he is replaceable,
Right.
and that's the thing that gets him to switch sides.
It needs to be important that Junior is not top dog.
All we need is that
Yeah,
one
but they
scene. We need
never-
one scene at which Junior is shown that he is replaceable, and that
Right.
we should be more afraid
Right.
of the
Junior
third
is
party.
the least of your problems.
But you cannot
you cannot have him appear
introduce a
on
villain.
top of a gas station.
And he's like, go get
And-
him. And that's it.
And
Okay,
also,
who's that guy?
he's like wearing a rubber suit to further
you
disguise.
can't do that.
He has a
Yeah.
suit and like
That's
a helmet.
not scary.
But the suit and
It's
helmet by no means are armor. They look like a windbreaker and a
That's what I'm
motorcycle
saying.
helmet. It's nothing.
It's
nothing.
like neoprene. It's like a scuba
Yeah.
suit.
You can't be learning about the capabilities of the villain in the scene in which they are
In the
fighting him and
action
defeating
scene.
him.
So
Right.
he goes and attacks them. They are shooting him a good
He's
30
impenetrable.
okay.
He cannot be
the
shot.
bullets are bouncing off of him.
Why
like
do they
he
keep
is a
shooting him
robot.
in his bulletproof
They
helmet?
shoot
I
him in
don't
the head
understand
a
that.
lot, and it's
It doesn't make any
definitely
sense.
bulletproof. We figured that
so
out.
then Danny throws like a
What did
I
you-
don't get it.
gas tank or whatever and shoots it. It essentially explodes in there. He still is like walking through the fire. He's
It's
the
a
Terminator.
really long, like 45 seconds
Yes.
Boom, boom, boom,
of
boom.
him
Like,
Like coming
walking
through. But
out of
even
the fire.
Danny and Will and everyone, their faces are like, what the fuck? Like their faces too.
They're just as confused as the audience.
they
right?
don't get it.
Which is
They
not great.
light him up multiple times. They finally get him to like fall down and all this shit. Okay, so then they essentially take off his helmet and guess what, guys? It's another
Another Will
Lil
Smith.
Will.
can you believe it?
Junior. It's JJ.
Junior. And
Junior,
Junior's
Junior.
surprised. Junior
Junior the
didn't
third.
know. So Junior's there too, and he goes, "What the fuck?" Like he doesn't know either.
Yeah.
So
Also,
this is when
does
go
this Junior look weirdly younger?
for it. Oh, he looks like he
Yeah,
just turned
he's
14.
even younger.
Like he's
For no,
Lil.
you think
Yeah.
that's intentional? Okay,
don't know.
interesting.
But
I
he's-
assumed
he
he
definitely
was-
looks younger.
But it would make sense that they would, if Junior's 21. Okay, this guy's 5 years behind, right?
Like maybe it took him a
In
little
terms of them to create a monstrosity, 5 years is on average the time you
Yeah.
take to do it. Okay, no, that's fine.
But Danny
This looked weird.
Danny's
16-year-old
asking
Will
him.
Smith.
Yeah, and Danny's like, "Don't you feel
Doesn't work.
pain?" And he looks confused. And then he
Was
essentially
that his
dies.
only superpower, though?
So-
why can he take full shotgun
that's the
blast to the
thing.
face?
Even
but
if you can't
the only
feel
reason he's not
pain.
stopping is because he can't feel pain.
If you can't feel pain, you still can't be like 30 shots. I can go. Like it doesn't work that way.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't.
Let's not think too hard about
Maybe
it.
not.
Yeah,
So Clay pops up.
I'll
He's
be honest,
pissed.
guys. I had too much gin.
we know.
We know.
Not in the sense that it's obvious continuously.
It's obvious to me.
No, it has not been continuous.
You're a blur. Like there's there's nothing happening.
I'm a
front of me.
blur
Whoa.
in my own real life. So
I might as well finish it.
I barely
Oh my
exist
God.
in my own
Okay.
life.
I don't
Alright.
even.
Clay-
This is the problem.
Stop. Clay shows up. So he is saying to everyone, he's saying to Big Will, he's like, "You should be happy I cloned you. Like you should feel special
It's an
about
honor,
this."
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was a good dad.
And he's saying that people shouldn't have to die if you create like super soldiers and you edit out fear and pain.
Which is
then like
sort
there's
of a
no
Right.
compelling
Then we can just
point.
He's
we
like,
can kill
"There's no
kill the
sad-
genetic
yeah,
monstrosities.
There's no
Who
sad
cares about
families.
these guys?
Nobody cares who goes off to war.
We'll continually
All
build
this
genetic
shit.
monstrosities and we'll kill them and nobody will give a shit because the only
yeah.
people will be dying will be genetic robots.
Like who cares?
cares? And Will Smith says they're people.
Which I'm like,
Wow.
He's
well,
never met
kind
one
of,
of them.
but
He doesn't know
does.
anything about them.
Like how Ben's like, well, you've never met one.
Also, very
I don't know. I mean, like this is.
Well, part of
Here's
it, I
the
want to
thing.
go, well, Clay's kind of right.
I don't.
This
think he's
movie
I
totally
falls
don't
wrong.
apart.
hate it. Yeah, I
This
don't
movie
hate
falls
the
a-
idea.
The movie
I'm
falls
not-
apart
I don't
because
agree
the
with it, but
the entire movie has been building up to the fact that the question is whether does experience overcome like the young like ability
power.
reflex.
Let's just call it power.
Right. Does
Yeah.
experience overcome power? That's the story of the first two acts. Then instead of that getting answered, those two just team up against
get
a super
more
secret
power.
villain
Yeah.
that shows up out of nowhere that we have no idea what his capabilities are. He's immediately destroyed. And then all of a sudden we're supposed to care whether like genetic soldiers are or are not human.
Yeah,
Which
that's
is a question
whole
that we've
nother
never had to
subject.
contemplate until this
Yes.
very moment.
Correct.
And
Yeah.
that's why this movie
Because-
sucks.
And actually,
Because-
they've shown quite well that Junior is human, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So what
Which
about the
I don't
third
know
Junior?
if the third one is supposed to be different from Junior, because Junior clearly has fear
The
and pain.
The third
It's a
one
person.
is the genetic manipulation. But the point is like at the crux of the movie, the thing we're supposed
Yeah.
to contemplate
Don't
has
make
not been the
that.
question
Look at this.
of the movie at all.
this.
It's just like and you're like, why did I watch the first 2/3 of this movie that I enjoyed?
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
the question was, does experience outweigh power? And then now all of a sudden we're talking about something completely different.
totally
You
different.
spent
It's
no
like the
time building
ethics
up.
of cloning.
You haven't put no effort into making me afraid of this kind of guy.
Yeah.
He was immediately defeated, and now we're supposed to answer a question about whether these guys are expendable or not. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
That is
Well,
not
they
the
don't
question
seem to
at
know
hand,
either.
right? It's
You know,
sort of
and
like, I don't know how to finish this movie, so here's a curveball.
Yeah.
You know,
Right? It
Right?
felt like, and then they just shoot him with a sparkler shotgun.
Hold on. Hold
yeah,
on.
that
So,
was weird.
that is weird. So Clay, though, he says he
Why
loves
is it
Junior.
like that?
Hold on. Junior's
But-
about to shoot him, and
but I
The
Henry
like
whole
is
rest
like,
of the movie
"Shh,
is
shh,
like realistic
Ben."
stuff.
But hold on. So Junior's gonna shoot him, and Henry instead is like, no, you shouldn't have to like shoot your father, and he does it for him essentially, though.
Well, it's a
'Cause
very long. I like
it
this.
goes
scene.
on
I
more.
think it's very. I think Junior holds it like Junior's dead set on killing this guy, right?
Yeah.
His dad, and it's prolonged. Big Will tries to calm him. Yeah. It's a good 2 or 3 minutes, and then Big Will blasts him.
But he
I-
blasts him with what you said. It's a
It's
sparkler
comical.
gun. It's like
It might as well have a bang flag that comes
Yeah.
out of the end of the
It's
gun.
very weird. Like a
It-
gun would be a
Did-
gun.
Not a
I don't.
money?
I don't understand what
and
happened there.
I don't even hate the idea that Will Smith killed the dad. I think that is
No.
sort of like
That was
is-
a-
actually
Thank
that's
God.
in line with the rest of the movie, which
if
is
they didn't, it would be
you know,
like,
Will Smith is sort
yeah.
of trying to protect these younger people who haven't
Yeah.
had to go through what he's gone through. So let me
Mhm.
blast this dude because he deserves it.
Right. We got to get rid of the leader of Gemini.
Jameen.
But-
Yeah, anyway, sorry.
You know, no, you're right. It's just that
It's very weird.
you're right. The first and second act, and then this shotgun shot, the sparkler shot.
Those are a good movie.
That's a good movie, but there's the whole third act
Yeah.
doesn't make any
It's
sense,
weird.
and it made me all of a sudden go from like this is great to like what the
What?
heck?
It's such an
What
it's
is
very
this?
weird.
you see this stuff, and maybe I watch too many movie reviews, maybe I watch too many movie critiques, and that because I'll watch a lot of that crap. But like
Yeah, but
this section is such a cop out in
Yeah.
terms of what the actual story was.
yeah.
It
To throw
ruins-
in a third character because the confrontation is ultimately between Big Will, Lil Will, and Clive Owen.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't need to show
Well,
me
you
that he
also
had other
can't-
monstrosities.
Yeah, and
I
you
mean,
can't
you
have the
can't,
third act be like
A distraction.
it's all within 5 minutes though, and the whole
It's
movie,
very
the rest
fast.
of it is like, whatever, 100 minutes. And then this is within 5 minutes, or like there's a third clone, this is gonna happen, you kill him, like you can't do that in that time. That doesn't make any sense.
It just it takes a good movie and like I would say legitimately good, maybe not great, but a good
It's
movie.
okay.
good, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fun.
And then this part, the third act, and then the epilogue,
Ooh.
Epilogue and yeah.
they make the whole first part of the movie that you don't even remember it because of how forgettable this
You're right.
and the ending
Yeah.
is.
The
That is
third
true.
act and the prologue. It's a prologue. Is it a prologue or an epilogue?
Epilogue.
Sorry.
Because it's after.
Yeah.
It's after.
Yeah,
It's
epilogue.
after, yeah.
Third act and epilogue just suck the air out of this
It's
movie.
yeah.
And you're
It's
like,
sad.
all right, never mind.
Yep.
That sucks.
That is how it is, yeah.
And you walk away like, huh? Yeah, no,
Yeah.
even that.
Not even
Accurate.
You're just like, oh,
Okay.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, all right, I guess.
There's nothing to think about. There's
Yeah,
nothing
you're
to
not
dwell
confused.
on.
You're just going,
Okay.
okay, yeah.
Well,
It's very
because the epilogue ties things up very nicely.
oh well.
Well,
I have two more notes,
okay.
and so it's just we cut to Henry visits his old boss. He says, and right away the boss is like, the Gemini lab's closed. Junior's not gonna get in trouble. We're
Yeah,
all
he just
good.
exposition.
Which you're like, okay, we put a bow on that.
don't care.
It's fine. It's done.
Yeah,
You fixed it.
And then it's 6 months later. We're at like college. Henry has Lil Will's like new passport name and like whatever, all of his info shit for him.
He made him a person.
Yeah.
Right.
And Lil Will is like, first of all, hanging out with like 10 people, which I'm like, that's way too many
Why
friends to
is-
just start your life at college.
But
I'm
why-
gonna say
Suspiciously
right
friendly.
now. That's weird.
You're a
And
murderer.
him and his friends is like, I'll see you later. And of
He's
course
like a
they're
trained killer.
yeah, and they're like, what are you gonna
He's
do
a
for
trained
your
friend.
like I don't know. That is how it is. And they're just like, what are you gonna do for college? And he's like, not sure yet. The end.
Aren't we at
That's it.
college?
Like that's it.
And why
That's
is
it.
she there?
And Danny's there
She's
for
a.
Why is she there at all?
I think she's a grad student now.
Is she? Is she?
I
I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe she's watching
Anyway,
him.
In the last scene, the whole thing I could see was that the CGI jean jacket that Lil Will was wearing was
Right?
like the weirdest.
He's doing
CGI.
this kind of like wobble.
I don't know what I'm gonna do for my major, and you're like, what the fuck is wrong with
damn
your
it.
jean
I
sucks.
think you're
jacket?
right. I think
I don't know.
The
It was
end of this
weird.
movie is
and then
so
they're just kind
bad.
of like the end.
And it further
Okay.
deflates. It
What?
continues to deflate this sort of like spy thriller action packed thing that it was for 50, 60, 70% of the movie.
Yeah.
And then it just, boy, it just can't, it comes in on itself.
I don't
It
know. It was
implodes
weird.
in a way, not in that it's not poorly made necessarily, but it just, like, if it were a graph,
Disappointing. I don't know.
it would go up and then it would just back
Drop.
on itself somehow.
Right? Like
It would
if I look at
move
Goes
the
back.
on the
Backwards.
x-axis. It would go backwards.
if I look
It
at my
was so
notes
weird.
here, I have classy naked shot. And then there's
Yes.
a big gap. And then they kill everyone, which is referring to Henry and
yeah,
Danny.
and Danny.
Somehow, like, there's these
That
trained
was
soldiers, they
very-
kill all of
Oh,
them
yeah,
until
yeah,
they get
yeah,
into
They
yeah.
were
the
like, doo,
convenience
doo, doo,
store.
when
Yeah.
they were out in the open.
That's
Junior
the-
can't fight Varys. I don't know why.
set
The
spike.
robot appears.
Yeah.
Yep.
Clone 3.
And then bulletproof
I guess.
question mark.
Right.
Yeah. And that's it.
That's it.
Because after that, you go, what? And they're like, here's your new
What?
passport, bud. And
And
that
that's
kind of
it.
thing. And that's
And
it.
you're
Oh,
like,
and then-
gosh, dang, you wasted it.
I thought he would resist the temptation. Will Smith goes full Will Smith in the sort of the pan out, him talking to Junior. He's like, "Ha, yeah, but you know I got more experience, and you know I'm suaver." Like he
Oh,
unloads
God.
on Junior. He does the I'm a big shot guy thing. Just rewind the last 30 seconds. It's the last thing he does.
Oh, that was like
I
the
mean,
only
you know,
thing
if we
had
were really
going
gonna
for
fight
him.
it out, I would have won, right? Like
It's
you know how-
exactly
Uh,
that. It's how I imagine Will Smith to be in real life.
I
But
Yeah,
had you on
right?
that
Where you're
shot.
like, please stop.
it's fine. You win, sir. I don't care.
All right, you got
You
it.
can have this one.
All right. So in conclusion, no, don't watch this
No.
movie.
Yeah.
It's
And this
just
is
like-
a tough
It's
one because
really-
it really
It was good
it's
at first.
really good, and then
Until
it
it's
just
not.
so not.
Until it's not.
and it's not even I don't even want to call it very bad in
It's
the
not
end.
bad. It's just very
so,
bland.
So forgettable.
Well, here's
Yeah.
the thing. Yeah, blah. Like, would I want to watch this again? No.
No.
Oh, I would watch the motorcycle scene is
Sure,
interesting.
that was cool. I'd
Maybe.
watch that again.
But
cool.
there's other movies we've watched that I'm like, yeah, I'd watch
They
that
do it
again.
better.
I'd
Yeah.
rather watch
Yeah.
Valerian again.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I had to pick, if you pick between
Yeah.
this and Valerian,
I
I'd
would
watch
do Valerian or
probably.
Mortal Engines I'd watch again.
We
Of course
do
we'd
need
watch
to-
Mortal Engines.
That's
That's
gotta
actually a
be-
good
I'm
movie.
like excited for Mortal
We need to.
Engines.
Did we say we're gonna do it January 1st or
We'll
something
do it.
like
We'll
that?
do it
Yeah.
after. So next month we
Should we
have.
get to talk about Shrek?
Next month though we have what is it? The Frost one. The
Jack
Oh,
Frost
God.
with
Yes. Now that one is more of a joke Christmassy one.
Yeah.
But we have to watch it because I haven't seen it since like
I've never seen
a
1993.
shitty father dies, and the only way he becomes a good dad is through when his ghost inhabits a
Yes.
snowman.
That's like the
Your
IMDb.
bad dad is back, and now he's more powerful
Yeah.
than ever.
than ever.
So, but after that, we're gonna do Mortal Engines.
All
After
right.
that one.
I can't believe out of all the movies I've quit on. That was the only one.
The
Was
best
the
That
one
was
first
we
probably
ever
the best
did
one.
was the only one you quit on.
Man, should we do
Damn it,
cats
Ken.
again at some point?
Oh, I'm tempted to. I don't
Cats.
When what's his name's like naked as a cat?
know. Idris Elba.
We need
That's
to
like
do. We
that's
need to do.
You're like,
that's
yikes, this is
burned
inappropriate.
into my
It
brain.
needs to have like a good name, like Cats the Revival or something, like having to do with something with multiple lives.
Well,
Anyway,
it-
let's wrap up
Oh
the
my
audio
God,
show there.
sorry.
I'm not going to carry this. If you're on audio, I'm sorry.
Every audio at the end, we're like, you know what's good?
You know
Mortal
what?
Engines,
Okay, if you're
bitches.
listening to this on audio, thank you so
That's
much.
true.
If you want to see us talk about this in person, you can go to the Date Night Dice YouTube channel where you can look at watch all of our podcasts and YouTube videos. If you want to watch this live, we do it on the first Thursday of every month on Twitch and YouTube. You can watch live. Thank you, Janelle, for tuning in live, and Joe was here for a little while. And if you want to listen to the podcast, we'll be back in a couple of weeks to do
I
another
like the way you question
top 3
That was good.
countdown.
Maybe.
So
Good job.
we also have a Patreon. If you want to help us rent bad movies, please go to patreon.com/date night dice. Is
Yes.
that what it's,
When you
is that
when you
actually the
say
address?
it like
I don't
that,
know.
boy, I don't know if you're gonna get any donations at all.
Yeah, right. But also it helps with hosting fees and all that fun stuff. But we did get a new Patreon, 2 new ones this last month. So thank you very much, everyone.
We should do a Patreon shout out, beginning and end. Let's do it. Let's
Oh
get
my
some
gosh.
credit.
We'll post
Oh
it
my
just on
gosh.
Patreon. We'll say, "Hey, what's up?"
Just a
we'll
post for
dab.
them?
You get a
No, we can
Patreon
post on Instagram.
if you support us on Patreon. We'll send you a custom dab
We will do a custom
of
dab.
Ken dabbing on a slip and slide,
Oh yeah, that
regardless
exists.
of time
That
of year.
exists already.
Yeah, he's like, okay.
It's a pre-recorded video. Oh, you're
Yeah.
saying I have to re-record it?
You every
That's
single
fine,
one
too.
you do a
Every
slip and
single
slide
can do
dab.
that.
I think I've got I could do it in my basement.
I have the
You've got
big
a
slip
hole.
and slide that I bought when
Do
you
we
were
still have
here,
it?
and we bought it so
That's
that
like
we could slip
10
and
years
slide.
old. All right.
Yeah, I know. Like,
All
Oh my
right, until
gosh.
next time.
Thank
Thanks for tuning
you.
in, and we'll see you later.
bye.